There is no need to go out on weekdays. Just practice with peace of mind. There's my token. No one in the sect dares to embarrass you. Du Fu said that this is very good. I also passed the elder examination before. After that, the two planned to return to the sect together. Hanju patted Du Fu's predecessor with relief. Don't worry. Suki followed Luo Chioma. Maybe who's unlucky first. Back in the city, Du Fu reminded Hanju. The power of the demon Dao Martial Venerable has been revived. The world is about to be in chaos. The Yuqing Holy Sect had better prepare early. Han Dao had the idea of being born. The old man can have a helping hand in all ways. Jump out of this world together. Han Ju thanked for his excessive bitter kindness. The strife in the fairy world is even worse than in the mortal world. If someone in Han doesn't have the ability to protect himself, it will never soar rashly. Du Fu smiled and shook his head. It seems that this Han Daoyu has a long life. Cultivating immortals really still depends on talent. Then again, who are the demon Dao martial venerables that the predecessors were referring to just now? Du Fu said that this Wuzuan is Luo Chio demon, white-haired witch, greedy Arhat, blood demon ancestor, and the demon lord. Then these 5 people are all suitable for cultivation. Into or half of the whole. Then we are on the right path. Is there no power that can compete with it? There is a way. But they are all close to life, and they don't want to be born to make enemies. While speaking, the 2 of them have returned to the sect. Han Ju raised his head, said seriously, since Dao Yu has told me so much, then I'll tell you one thing too, and now there is only Changjiao. The things of the way. Dooku looked puzzled. Han Daoyu might as well bluntly say that the demon emperor has been resurrected. The seniors thought it would have something to do with this demon Dao martial venerable. As soon as this statement came out, Dooku's face changed greatly, and the demon emperor was resurrected. Oops, in the meantime, the head also learned. The sect came from the elder of Du Jiajin's living room. He immediately commanded to go down. Hurry up and prepare the mansion cave to meet. On the other side of the sea of clouds, a black cloud galloped by. There are 2 ways of doing business in the clouds. One of them is Suki's senior. Where the hell are we going? Suki asked. Since following Luo Ball Demon, they have been on the move. It is often subject to natural disasters. It will also stray into the realm of antiquity. It can be described as miserable. Is what you said about the big chance true or not? Suchi asked impatiently. Luo Chio Demon said coldly. Keep asking if you're finished. If it weren't for this, we'd be there long ago. You're a scourge. Luo Chio Demon Suki and the 2 met with the Demon Emperor, who knew that the Demon Emperor wanted to kill Han Ju. Don't take away your top luck. Ladies and gentlemen, sir, can you send it to the next free little flower? Can't wait to see the follow-up plot. You can go to the comment area to take a look. The book is picked up again. Luo Chioma took Suki all the way, but the journey has not been smooth. Luo Chioma always said that Suki must be a disaster. But Suki was not convinced by this statement. Say I'm a scourge. Then why is it you who are unlucky every time? It doesn't matter if you cultivate to be strong. I can't stand this little body. Speaking of Luo Ball Demon along the way, in Suki's bad luck and Hanju, under the double blessing of the curse, it was indeed extremely unlucky. Every once in a while, it suffers from a natural felling. Encounter a tornado in the sky. It was bitten by a shark. Enter the ancient secret realm of the Legends collection. Not only did I not get any chance, and because of the name of the ancient power, almost wiped out. Although Suki also suffered, but all the injuries were crab skin injuries. Luo Ball Demon puts it all down to Suki. It must have been an unlucky rush. But Suki doesn't think so. After all, he used to be able to turn evil into good fortune. In this way, the 2 stumbled along the way. It's finally almost there. Luo Chioma pointed ahead. A place of dark clouds and thunderstorms. We're almost there. The person I'm taking you to meet is the Demon Emperor. Suki asked when she first heard the name. What is the relationship between this Demon Emperor and the Demon Lord? Is it a senior brother? Luo Qiu demon said that he just belonged to the same demon path. It doesn't really matter. Then which of the two is stronger? Luo Ball demon didn't know this either. It's just that the demon emperor debuted earlier. The achievements in the demons are even higher. Luo Ball demon warns Suki. Don't talk so much when you get to the place. Everything depends on his countenance. At this time, it was in a dilapidated palace hall. Next to a dragon chair lies the Chaos Tengu. Chaos Tengu's neck, wearing a black collar, makes him more like a dog who cares for the home. The dog stared numbly ahead. It's like losing a soul. Finally back. You know how prosperous my dynasty was. Jinai said to himself. The Chaos Tengu didn't answer. He was used to talking to himself. In his opinion, Jinai he is definitely a madman. The more Jinai he spoke, the more excited he became. This is the case. He wanted to recite a poem without 100 generations, and the fluid was normal. Whispering, swallow all directions and die immortal gate. Repeatedly supreme and 6, he straight knocked and whipped the world. Shocking. It's not done yet. I only heard the sound of footsteps, and the kidneys were good. The merits of the demon emperor should be passed down through the ages. I saw 2 figures walking into the store. The demon emperor coldly asked who it was. The dog also got a crisp mouthful. I'm still going to shoot crazy guys. Your Majesty the demon emperor. In Shalua, the demon learned that his majesty had awakened. Special potentiaries. Luo Chioamo hugged his fist and was filial. Jinai won him expressionlessly. You arranged for someone to summon me. Tell me what reward you want. Luo Chio demon filial piety. If your majesty can rule the world again. That's what I want most. What do you mean by that? In the next day, if he ascends, it must be to join the demon lord of the upper realm. This is the task that the demon has escaped from us in his dream. It's a sight to behold. If the upper realm demon is just ascending to the upper realm demon, the public is willing to take the lead. If your majesty could regain the supreme throne, the demon gong will definitely be in the ascension tribulation. We can help. Hearing this, Jinai he was very pleased. Hurry up and let Maharok ask. At this time, Jinai he frowned slightly at Su Chi. He asked who it was. At this time, the Chaos Tengu also saw Suki, golden and cloth dog's mouth. Isn't this the master's apprentice? Luo Chio demon introduced that this is the closed disciple of the demon lord. The demon lord was busy cultivating. Let him come and work for you. I am not happy to break the position. Let a disciple come and serve. That's how the demon lord behaved. Luo Chio demon explained that the demon lord had always been a loner. Withdrawn. It's better if you don't kill him again. Sending a disciple over is to show attitude. It can help us integrate the magic path faster. The dog kept giving Suki a look. Suki didn't recognize him at all. I just think this dog is so ugly. Only then did the dog remember the last time they were separated. He's just a puppy. Luo Ball demon winked at Suki. That's what I'm talking about by chance. You don't hurry up and pack your bags. Su Chi had no choice but to visit Modi every year. However, Su Chi worshipped him like this. I felt a chill in my back. He only said to Suki to the Chaos Tengu next to him. From now on, you're in charge of helping me raise the dogs. Xiao Si Suchi, who was reduced to a dog, was naturally unconvinced. But he can only dare to be angry and dare not speak. The Chaos Tengu was secretly happy. Could it be that Suki was arranged by his master to save him? That's fine. At least you're surrounded by your own people. I'll find a chance to tell him who I am later. I want you to do me a favor. Jinai he stared at Luo Chio demon and said indifferently. What is the matter of going to Dian? Find a sect named Yuqing sect. Kill a man named Hanju. As soon as this statement came out, Chaos Tengu Suki was all moved. Luo Chioma was stunned. It's Yuqing sect again. How could the demon emperor also want to deal with Yuqing? Zong Luo Ball demon smiled helplessly. You're really welcome. Not long after we met, I ordered people to do things. Jinai he means that the posture is large. I also hope that Iching will leave as soon as possible. Don't delay the hour. I'll go when I'm free. Luo Chioma was imprinted on his mouth, but he didn't take it to heart. The geese are too far away. He didn't bother to go. Besides, the demon lord has already taken over the matter. He couldn't go again. For Jinaiha's instructions. Luo Chioma felt a sigh of relief. As soon as we met, they told me to do things. When I said I would like to serve you, I was polite. You toolman still dare to put up a fight with me. But the one named Hanju is modified. What did he do to Jinaiha? Actually made Jinai want to kill him. It hasn't been long since Jinai he came back. Luo Ball Demon became interested in Hanju. At this time, Hanju on the other side was drinking milk tea. While looking at the disciples and grandchildren, Murong Chi broke through to Yuan Ingjin. I've always wanted to try it with Black Yuji. Yang Tiandong also got up. Black JG relied on her cultivation to be high. Often bullied Yang Tiandong them. But Ji Ye's seniority is high. None of them dared to complain. That's when it happened. Hanju received the system mentions. One of the 5 deities of the 4-layer demon path of the Luo Ball Demon Desheng path. Because he was dissatisfied with Kenai and did not give himself face. So I'm interested in Kenai, and you who want to kill. The current friendship rating is 1 star. Hanju greeted with a look on his face. What the hell is this? I curse you every day and make a whole feeling. The master and apprentice of the immortal mountain, who cultivated hard, were distressed by the improvement of their cultivation. Zhou Fan, who was wandering overseas, was killed by his good brother. Don't take away your top luck. Ladies and gentlemen of Douyin, can you send a free little flower to like? If you can't wait, you can go to the comment area to take a look. The book is picked up again. Luo Chou Demon hated the Demon Emperor Jinai. But Hanju, who wanted to kill the Demon Emperor. Favorability was generated. Hanju was amused. Could it be that the Demon Dao Wuzuan and Jinai? And Demon Inner Fire. He immediately took out the Book of Bad Luck. I want to continue to engage in the mentality of Luo Chou Demon. Maybe the grumpy Luo Ball Demon will tear his face with the Demon Emperor because of this. This time, find Chang'an to discover. Fang Liang's cultivation is stuck on the 9th floor of the Zhujijing. It seems that the qualifications have come to an end. Couldn't have gone any further. In fact, the speed of Fang Liang's advancement is compared with the outside world. It's already fast. But this is a mountain of penance and immortality. The aura is incomparably rich. It does seem to be a bit slower. Sun Chang'an wanted Hanju to help find the reason. Fang Liang couldn't be improved because of his cultivation. This time, the whole person has already suffered from rebellion. Hanju naturally knew the reason. But he wants to make Fang Liang feel like an ordinary person. He said there was no problem. It's just that the qualifications are too poor. You need to practice penance. Sun Chang'an was a little puzzled. It really just needs to be hard work. Hanju replied, I have cultivated hard to become an immortal mountain. When have you ever raised an idler? I'm bullish on him. Listen to these words. Desolation was a little ashamed in his heart. It's really compared to the uncles. He's good for nothing now. The uncles have already exhausted the demon favor of the ancestors. Cultivation is even higher. I really envy them. I learned so much from my master. Meanwhile, outside the main hall of the Yuqing sect, Zhuding real people are also looking at the fighting methods in the sky. Such a scenario. It doesn't have much of an impact now. The Yuqing holy sect's Yuan Ingjin modification is becoming more and more. Yuan Ingjin is no longer the first-class level of the Yuqing holy sect. And because of that, because Li Qingzi, who is in charge of the sect, is not highly cultivated. Many of the elders in the sect who had high cultivation levels floated. The treatment of sect affairs is becoming more and more lax. This made Zhuding real people faintly feel uneasy. He reprimanded the elders for not returning to each of you to do his duty. Hugh has to waste cultivation resources by doing nothing all day long. It is obvious that he is more suitable to be a head coach than Li Qingzi. In addition, Zhuding Zhenren is honored and needs to enter the 9th floor. The cultivation is already very clear from the merge realm. There were very few people in the holy sect who were stronger than him. The elders did not dare to arrest him in the face of him. Jiuding Zhanren looked at the fat Kuan of the heavenly fighting method. I can't help but admire. Even the cultivation of the god of war Elder Fei Kuan can be level with themselves. The momentum of advancement must be hurried. After all, the demon cult is already ready to move. At this time, outside of the ancient adversity overseas, the fierce battle has just ended. Xianshi and Zhou Fan finally killed the enemy. All these years, Zhou Fan took revenge in order to rescue Mo, who was trapped in adversity. He always refused to leave with Master Xianshi. He firmly believes that his good brother is not dead. After each enemy was cleared, he continued to dig the ruins. Master Xianshi persuaded him. This season is closed from the inside. Those under the shortcut cannot be opened from the outside. But Zhou Fan couldn't listen at all. Over the years, it repeats itself day after day. Zhou Fan said that even if it was a corpse, he also wants to bring Mo's revenge back. The Xianshi is to give him a deadline of the last few days. I can't fight those 3 sects anymore. Maybe it's Zhou Fan's sincerity. Soon after, it really made him find the entrance mechanism. With the activation of the mechanism, Zhou Fan, the whole person was shocked out by the powerful force. The supervisor didn't expect it either. With Zhou Fan's cultivation, he was able to open the mechanism. I saw a huge energy rushing up into the sky. But it's not the powerful, ominous force that it used to be. As the energy dissipates, a slab reappeared in front of the two. Zhou Fan couldn't wait to break in. Was stopped behind by Xianshi. He vaguely felt that the ruins were very strange. The ruins are crumbling along the way. The two walked very carefully, patrolled to the depths of a slab. The two of them finally felt the breath of the living. Sure enough, it was Mo Revenge. He's alive. I saw Mo Revenge sitting on the stone steps. The ground was covered in blood. I don't know what he went through. Zhou Fan couldn't wait to jump to Mo Revenge's side, calling for his good brother. I don't know that Mo Revenge slowly raised his head. There was a terrifying, murderous aura in his eyes. Mo Revenge didn't say a word and slowly got up. Xianshi. I didn't notice the trace of the demonic aura before. Zhou Fan happily followed his good brother. Speaking of the battles of the past few years, I didn't notice the strangeness of Mo's revenge at all. That's when it happened. Just listen to a scolding. Don't take revenge. A hand was inserted into Zhou Fan's chest. At first, it was too late to stop it. Mo Vengeance grabbed Zhou Fan's shoulder with his other hand. Pull hard. Pulled Zhou Fan's heart out alive. Mo Revenge looked at Zhou Fan's beating heart indifferently, as if it was not a brother but an enemy in front of him. Zhou Fan is dead. Xianshi is desperate to kill Xiang and take revenge. That's the end for now. Han Ju on the other side also began to fight. The one who fights with him is his eldest wife, the Demon King. Han Ju tried his best to parry, and it was difficult to parry. The Xianqin army is simply a bandit and suffocating. Repeated defeats and battles. Han Ju reluctantly battled. The time lasted until 2.5 minutes. In order to reduce the difficulty, Han Ju's General Xianqin's battle level, set in large, long diameters. The third floor has no chance of winning. It seems that there is a high probability that the person who encounters the motorcycle now will die. After Han Ju arrived at the third floor of the ferry shortcut, repair improvement is significantly slower, but it made him distressed. That's when it happened. Han Ju received a system prompt. Your apprentice Suki spreads bad luck. Luo Chioma reduced his life expectancy by 1,000 years. The effect will last. Your god pet, the Chaos Tengu, has been attacked by a demon cultivator. Your Taoist brigade Xinghangshan was attacked by the Righteous Path. Your Dao Lu Xianqin army left the world. Your journey to the Tao has happened to be a chance. It is pointed to the gate by the power of the groom. Your Taoist friend Gold, attacked by Mathu. Your friend Don't Take Revenge, turned into a true demon due to an ominous force. Your friend Zhou Fan, attacked by your friend Mo for revenge. The flesh is torn apart, and the soul is torn apart. Luckily, your friend Xianxue rescued me. Your friend Xianxue. Attacked by your friend Imo for revenge. Dao horizontal attenuation. What Zhou Fan died again? There are demon cultivators everywhere. The world is really going to be in chaos. Penance is fruitless, and Fang Liang can't stop the chicken. Returning behind closed doors. Han Ju wished him to change his life against the sky. Don't take away your top luck. Don't dare to ask for small flowers. Can you give me a thumbs up? The book is picked up again. Han Ju in order to improve his cultivation as soon as possible. In one breath, he was in retreat for another 3 years. The first thing out of customs. Han Ju thought about going to see his master and senior sister. By the way, upgrade their sky golem. I don't know at this time. Looking for Chang'an, he came to Han Ju in a panic. Master, you can be regarded as out of customs. Looking for Chang'an has always been steady. Han Ju asked him what was wrong. Sun Chang'an said that it was Fang Liang's kid. You've been in retreat for 3 years. The repair of the square beam has been stuck on the 9th floor of the machine diameter. Even if you stack it with pills, you can't improve it. Master, you said it 3 years ago. All he had to do was work hard. But now his qualifications seem to have really come to an end. Only then did Han Ju remember the reason why Fang Liang couldn't advance. Maybe it has something to do with his gentleman. The so-called Jindan Qi soared into the sky. It's not that simple. That's when it happened. Han Ju taught Fang Liang to enter the Xiantian cave mansion. Fang Liang was very nervous. Could it be that the ancestor wanted to expel him from the sect? Ordinarian said for him, let your ancestor personally take action. It shouldn't be a big problem. Han Ju arranged to find Chang'an. Go to Changyuer and Shishuan Fairy Cave Mansion. Get 2 of them. By the way, bring a puppet from the sky. Watching Fang Liang follow Han Ju into the Xiantian cave mansion. Kuan said with a sad face. You're not badly talented. It's a pity that this Liang boy's cultivation is over. Things on the path of practice. The host never interfered too much. Presumably, I can't help Fang Liang this time. Instead of letting him continue to do penance in the mountains. It's not like you're going down the mountain to be a rich man for 100 years. Listen to Kuan say this. Looking for Chang'an is naturally unhappy. After all, Fang Liang was his apprentice. But looking for Chang'an can only be silently in his heart. Prayer. I hope your master can help you get through this hurdle. After all, your fishing skills. It's the best in our circle. At this time, the innate cave house. Han Ju began to use 6 spiritual powers to probe into Fang Liang's body. Han Ju discovered. Fang Liang already has all the conditions to impact Jindan. It's just that there is a ball of qi in his body blocking his dantian, so that he could not practice into a golden pill. This mass of qi is like some kind of seal or forbidden, strong enough to shield the merge realm. If it weren't for Han Ju, he would have been promoted to the tribulation realm. I'm afraid I won't be able to find out either. It's no wonder that Sun Chang'an doesn't know why. Han Ju opened his mouth and asked Fang Liang. It's been a while since you've been under my door. Have you ever realized what your cultivation is pursuing? Fang Liang was extremely nervous. After hesitating for a moment, he replied in order to become an immortal. What is the purpose of becoming an immortal? Nature is for immortality. Han Ju couldn't help but feel relieved. The cultivation is not very good. The dog's strength is deep in my true heritage. Henceforth you will be right. Does the benefit of a woman hinder the pace of cultivation? Fang Liang replied in the affirmative that he would not have done so before. Not in the future. Both my parents were dead, and I had no one to rely on. It was my ancestor who took me in. I very much agree with the master's philosophy of practice. Everything is inferior. Only the cultivation is high. Han Ju nodded with satisfaction. If I give you a chance to soar, what will happen to you in the future? Fang Liang was flattered. Immediately bowed down. I am willing to break my bones for my ancestors. At all costs. What Han Ju questioned for a moment, it was wrong. It's a dedication to cultivation. Ignore the world. Never cause trouble for the ancestors. I saw Fong Liang into a hole in the emperor. Hanju nodded in satisfaction. Is this right? After that, Hanju immediately transported the 6 realms of Reincarnation Palace. Since your master said that you are not talented, then I will create talents for you. I saw that several golden rays of light around Hanju began to condense. Fong Liang felt the surging cleverness around him. His face was surprised and shocked. How high is the cultivation of the ancestor? At this time, Hanju received a system prompt. Your apprentice Fong Liang's favorability towards you has increased. The current opinion rating is 5 stars. It's only 5 stars, which is not the highest. Gotta find a way to hit this kid again. Hanju will have the golden light condensed in his hand. Dip into the Fangliang Dantia. Fong Liang only felt that the divine stone was drawn out in an instant. In a moment of opening the eyes, the whole person seems to be in the vastness and void, surrounded by countless golden lights. At this time, I only heard Hanju's voice faintly. Shokjin Danjing. Very. The vast majority of people are directly Juden. Very few people can mix in the void, gathering Dan by the induction of heaven and man. What's more, they can rely on their talent to be the main one. Embark on a new path. There are no exceptions to this category of people. Become the only one in the world. Fong Liang. I only feel that the soul is colliding violently with the void. The void chi gradually condensed in front of his eyes. Destiny is limited. How can my disciples be limited by the destiny of heaven? Case. Today, I, Hanju, will be rescued even if I sacrifice my way. It's also going to break this bullshit destiny. The chi of void gradually condensed under the impetus of Hanju. Hanju's words surprised Fong Liang. The ancestor actually sacrificed the Tao for himself. Fong Liang's eyes were red. Acting has to be done in a full set. Hanju shouted that my apprentice grandson wanted to advance. Even if the heavens want to stop it, it can't be done. Said that the massive chi in Fong Liang's body was dispersed by Hanju. With the help of Hanju, Fong Liang's spiritual power began to condense uncontrollably. Jindan at the same time. Hanju received a system prompt again. Your apprentice Fong Liang's favorability towards you has increased. The current opinion rating is 6. Xing Hanjue couldn't be happy in his heart. Since ancient times, it has been a routine to win people's hearts. Zai Liangzi's stumble has eliminated all difficulties for you. The rest is up to you. If you find yourself special in the future, I want you to think you're ordinary, to live a long time. Don't set foot on Zhou Fan's path. Meanwhile, the sky outside the cave has changed. Colorful glow appeared in the sky above the Yuqing holy sect. Fairy Shishuan only sighed. This is the birth of a genius. As the air mass dissipates, countless true chi is like a storm. Swept the cool Dantian. Fong Liang has a feeling of being opened up to the second pulse of Rindu. The senses are clear. Heaven and earth became very different in his perception. Soon Tianxiang began to snow. It was snowing. The clouds resemble human form. It's like a goddess scattering flowers. Amaze all the disciples of the Yuqing holy sect. Fairy Shishuan reached out and took a piece of snowflake. It is a godsend to abandon the golden snow. It seems that it was really born just now. Sun Chang'an was shocked. Could it be that the master really helped Xiao Liangzi change his life against the sky? Inside the main hall of Yuqing sect, Jiuding Zhanren looked at the golden snow in the sky and sighed. I've been practicing since I started. It's the first time I've seen such a foreign land. The elders said one after another. The aura of our Yuqing holy sect is about to rise. A sea of clouds churned in the sky. Dragons and phoenixes are chasing and playing. Black Jji outside the Xiantian cave mansion. Yang Tiandong and others were also amazed. Kuan Ziz was surprised. Sure enough, this phoenix looks exactly like me. Inside the cave, Hanju looked at Fong Liang and said congratulations lightly. Jin Dan was quiet. Cultivating into an immortal mountain really does not raise idlers. Fong Liang showed his talent. Cultivation is advancing by leaps and bounds. Don't take away your top luck. Ladies and gentlemen, sir, can you send a free little flower to like? The book is picked up again. Hanju helped Fong Liang break through to Jin Danjing. He was instructed to continue his penance in peace. Keep a low profile. Don't let the leaps and bounds go in the future. Zhou Fan's kind of dead end. At this time, Fong Liang still didn't understand what Hanju meant. But it's certainly right to listen to the Lord. When I walked out of the Xiantian cave mansion the next day, he felt like he was in a different world. Yang Tiandong was the first to discover that Fong Liang's breakthrough was successful. Fong Liang said gratefully, "It is the ancestor who sacrificed Dao Hong and conferred the member. Reinvented my qualifications for me." Everyone was shocked. Is the antenna intended? It's because of the qualifications you reinvent. Hanju asked them not to ask questions in the cave mansion. Don't tell Fong Liang about it. Recently, the demon repaired Su and the others. Don't go down the mountain and run around. Honestly, continue to work the mountain. Yang Tiandong secretly admired. How high is the master's cultivation? Reshaping qualifications is a natural whim. I didn't expect to crash either. The master would be mediocre for a mediocre qualification. The stupid apprentice went to sacrifice Dao Hong and the grant. This is something that has never been seen before. Murong Qi's respect for his master and ancestor deepened. Although the ancestor has always been indifferent. But for those of us who are disciples and grandchildren, absolutely unambiguous. If you want to say that the happiest thing is ordinarian, no one cared more about Fong Liang's cultivation than him. Seeing that Fong Liang was still crying, he stepped forward to comfort him. It was learned that he was because of a stumble. Duff and Phelps felt guilty for being damaged. He patted him on the shoulder and comforted. Have you forgotten what your ancestor said? We cultivate hard to become an immortal mountain and do not raise idlers. He had a reason for doing this. Without being sure, he won't make a quick move. The master has always been diligent in penance. He has never been easy to accept disciples. There are so many outstanding disciples in the Yuqing holy sect. Why are there only a few of us here? At the beginning, your master and I were trapped by love. Your ancestor took in and gave advice. It allowed me to find my life value and mission. Why is the aura of this penance cultivated into an immortal mountain so strong? It's all for the teacher and the Fuso sacred tree. Kunkin also came over to interject. Do you think I'm a dry eater just because I'm fat? Kino, I'm the phoenix of authenticity. Yang Tiandong also touched his head. On the outside, my clothes all say I have blood around my waist. I haven't seen how good I am, though. Morong shook his head suspiciously. What about me? There's nothing special about me. Sun Chang'an waved his hand. You didn't find out. You are self-taught about a lot of things. Murong Qi suddenly realized. Is this my qualification? In a word, we have cultivated hard to become immortals, and there are no idlers in the mountain. There are no mortals, to be exact. We are all the trump cards chosen by his old man. Fong Liang then understood. It turns out that the threshold for cultivating into an immortal mountain is so high. No wonder no one has come to me since then. Come to think of this. Fong Liang cried again, saying that it was not me. Instead, my ancestor asked me to continue my penance and wait for the opportunity. Fong Liang kowtowed to Hanju another 100 times in his heart. My ancestor gave me a chance. I will not disappoint his old man's high hopes. The brothers are studying how to celebrate Fong Liang. Only to find Fong Liang. The aura around him began to pour into his body. In order to live up to the love of the ancestors, Fong Liang decided to start cultivating immediately. That's it for less than half a year. Fong Liang firmly consolidated the first layer of Jin Danjing. Then the different ones begin to improve their cultivation. A generation of legends begins at this moment. With the qualifications of the Son of Heaven and Earth, add to that his hard work. Fong Liang only took 3 years. It reached the 3rd floor of Jindanjing. Kuan Sun Chang'an and several people were completely confused. And so it goes. It won't take long. Fong Liang's cultivation will catch up with or even surpass them. Someday, the sky rang out and a fireball fell from the sky, braving the raging flames to come to Mr. Penance. Kuan and Yang Tiandong thought it was a demon cultivator attacking. The crowd immediately went on alert. It's time for penance. Chengxian Mountain helped. This thing can't be stopped. How can it be worthy of the master? Unexpectedly, before the fire landed, it suddenly changed direction, smashed directly on the head of desolation. Everyone was shocked. It's over, it's over. What should I do if the master's proud apprentice was stoned to death? How do you know that the flying fire is just in the wilderness? Liang smashed a bag on his head. Then he rolled aside. Everyone took a look at the deposit. How does this thing look like a snack? Everyone only felt that the aura of this stone was extremely strong. Hurry up and ask Fang Liang to take it to Hanju to see. Hanju looked at it carefully. This stone is the size of a fist. It has a deep purple glow. At first glance, it is not a mortal stone. Hanju's new book. Is this the son of heaven and earth? If you don't leave the house, you can send it by chance. It's a big off-track. Hanju asked him to leave the stone first. He's doing a good job. Saying that, Hanju took out the puppet of the sky. A new generation of products has been developed for the teacher. It's a pity that there are no suitable materials to withstand the power of the mirror of adventure. You can only disassemble the body to save your spiritual power. Even if you encounter a fitting mirror or a low-level robbery mirror powerhouse, all you have to do is put the puppets together to save your life. You take this. It's an opportunity to exchange this spirit stone for you. Fang Liang thanked Hanju, happily departed. Hanju secretly came to this spirit. Stone can be attracted to the children of heaven and earth. It's certainly not a simple thing. It's been in the hole at this point. The heaven and earth grass sleeping in the house suddenly woke up. He was drawn to a familiar aura. Heaven and earth grass suddenly taught its master. I've seen this stone. You've seen it. Hanju asked casually in favor of heaven and earth. Heaven and earth grass replied, I am the last one. He was holding such a stone when he was cultivating. What Hanju was taken aback. Is it true that the stone taken by the ancestor is a thing from the upper realm? Hanju has been in retreat for 7 years, and he doesn't know that the demon Tao is becoming more and more prosperous. Heaven and earth grass jumped over the catastrophe in advance. Don't row away with stupid and cute girls. Your top luck is here again. Ladies and gentlemen, sir, can you send it to the next free little flower? Friends who can't wait can go to the comment area. Take a look at the book and pick it up. Fang Liang was sent down from the sky for no reason. Hit in the head. So this stone of unknown origin. It was given to Hanju. This temporary derivation has been discarded by people. Presumably the last fairy. This thing should be very real. Hanju carefully examined it with the divine stone. It's a pity how he's investigating. That's a snack. It's just that the aura contained far exceeds that of other snacks. So Hanju planned to give this stone to heaven and earth grass. Because he once read a book. Similar treasures have been described above. That treasure is called the Enlightenment Stone. And this stone often has green onions borne on the side. And the green onion will also absorb the spiritual power of the Enlightenment Stone. Day and night, comprehend the mysteries of heaven and earth, and so on. The green onion was suddenly stunned when he saw Hanju. Tiandiko asked anxiously, what about later? Hanju continued, do you remember what I told you? I'll give you the whole life. Maybe the key to your life. It's on this rock. Hanju asked heaven and earth grass to hold the stone and carefully comprehend. Maybe it won't take you a few hundred years to transform. That's it. Heaven and earth grass hug the stone every day and are inseparable. After that, Hanju continued to practice in retreat. 7 years have passed in a flash. When he was busy cultivating, the world is in the cultivation realm, but it is surging. Demon cultivation is becoming more and more active. This made the righteous path feel bad. Before, when the Qingmeng Great Sage swept the world, the demon Tao sect is all directly opened. the righteous sect of the metropolis that started a war with the great sage of Qingmong. So after the death of the great sage, the righteous path should be weaker than the demonic path. In such a situation, the activity of demon cultivators is disturbing, until a piece of news spread throughout the cultivation realm. The demon emperor thousands of years ago was resurrected. The demon emperor is about to be founded again. Demon Dao Dynasty. The dynasty that has always been organized by demon cultivators. He is recruiting the world's demon cultivators to join him. For a time, various legends of the demon emperor were circulated in the world. Some people fear that the world will be in chaos again. Others disagree. The cultivation of the true precept is that the righteous demons take turns to be strong. This is also the reason why heroes emerge endlessly. Don't worry too much. Qing Meng was as strong as the great sage before. In the end, it's not dead. The demon emperor once unified the world of demon cultivation. But that was many years ago. Times have long since changed. The crowd spoke. Juding Zhenren noticed that Li Qingzi had a strange expression. It seems that he wants to stop talking. Something suddenly occurred to him. Elder Li had inquired about the demon emperor decades ago. I don't know anything. Li Qingzi hesitated to decades ago. Elder God of War asked me to investigate the MO enemy. Maybe he's got something. But he didn't say much. I hope I don't spread the word about it. Everyone was shocked. Guan Yugang groaned. Could it be that the god-slaying elder had already reached the cultivation realm? There will be this catastrophe. The reason why I don't say that I am afraid that we are worried. They all know it. The true pillar of the Yuqing holy sect was the god of war elder. Even the god of war elder made a special inquiry. It can be seen that this catastrophe will not wake up. Lu Immortal said. The elder told me that I wanted to extend the blood to the sect of heaven. Move directly to Dian. Is it okay? Juding Real Person shook his head and said, Dian doesn't have that many places for you to cultivate. Build a teleportation circle horse. Everyone is on the lookout and helping each other. Interchange has a house. The elders in the Jade Qingsheng began to get busy. At the same time, Juding Real Person ordered. Contribution quest in Yukayamori. All are confined to wild geese. All the disciples who were outside the wild goose were gathered back. Hanju didn't know about it. He's still cultivating. There is still some distance from the nearly 4th floor of the robbery. To say that Hanju is in retreat all year round. Do you get bored too? In fact, he often reminisces about the past. Fill the void. This also includes memories of his past life. In his previous life, Hanju was a genius chef, dreaming of carrying forward the ancestral spicy seafood. He just inherited his grandfather's seafood restaurant. But because some detainees discharged nuclear wastewater, led to his failure to start a business and eventually collapse. Even the daughter-in-law who didn't pass through the door. Not a single finger has ever touched it. Han felt that his thoughts were still reminiscing about his girlfriend in his previous life. At this time, a woman behind her called out to the master. Hanju was taken aback. How could outsiders break into the innate cave mansion? Hanju turned his head suddenly. But I saw a scene that made people's blood gush. It's a pity that the audience can't see it. You say it's not annoying. Hanju glanced at the flower pot of the heaven and earth grass. Sure enough, the basin was empty. The heaven and earth grass turned into a shape. The strange thing is that he didn't encounter a catastrophe when he transformed. Monsters and humanoids all have to go through a catastrophe. Heaven and earth grass also did not reach the 100,000-year deadline for itself. I just skipped the catastrophe. Hanju looked at the Enlightenment stone. Could it really be related to him? This stone is really shiny. It has the power to circumvent the catastrophe. Wouldn't there be no need to cross the catastrophe in the future? Fang Liang didn't expect this gift to be so big. Hanju and Hua. After the row, the heaven and earth grass has been studying the stone. But I forgot that the heaven and earth grass were not wearing an inch. There was no way. Hanju could only make an exception. Go down the hill and buy him clothes. Get into new clothes. Heaven and earth grass instantly turned into a stupid and deaf girl. but there is a hint of coldness hidden between the eyebrows. Heaven and earth grass represent their current appearance, is in accordance with him. The face of the previous owner is drawn. Hanju didn't feel anything. The appearance of the immortals is nothing more than that. There is no Master Sichuan fairy who is good-looking. Hanju asked him, "Have you thought of a name?" "Master, how about I call the Enlightenment Sword in the future?" Heaven and Earth Chao twisted his body and said. Hanju's face twitched slightly. The Enlightenment Sword is called this broken name by a fairy. The word Enlightenment Dao Sword indicates that he should build the Dao. So the name is just right. Hanju didn't bother to think about it. He's just a grass anyway. From then on, the Heaven and Earth Grass was renamed the Enlightenment Sword. And Hanju also began to teach the Enlightenment Sword by hand. Fa Xing Hongxian returned from a trip abroad. Crashed through Hanju Cave Mansion Zhangjiao. Don't paddle away from your top-of-the-line luck. Here you go again. Ladies and gentlemen, sir, can you send it to the next free little flower? The changes in the cultivation of the true precepts are like rivers and seas. Sometimes calm. Sometimes the waves are stormy. Yuqing Shangzong has been in peace. 13 years have passed. Hanju finally broke through to the fourth layer of the tribulation realm. He was pleasantly surprised to find that he had appeared since the sky fell. The aura of the innate cave mansion has been rising. Makes his breakthrough speed. It's not much slower than it used to be. The qualifications of the Enlightenment Sword also surprised Hanju a little. Since the drawing, the Enlightenment Sword cultivated faster. He is really talented in Kendo. It is stronger than Hanju's apprentices and grandchildren. Presently, he had mastered the Excalibur and the three clear shadow sword. Before moving up to a higher level, there is nothing to teach anymore. I thought it was a monster in the shape of a plant. There should be no 7 emotions and 6 desires. However, the boring Enlightenment Sword is in addition to cultivation. But he changed the law and pestered Hanju. On this day, the Enlightenment Dao Sword was pestering Hanju to cultivate. Coincidentally, this is someone from the Xiantian Cave Mansion. The one who came was not an outsider. The eldest wife has returned from her travels. Hanju was speechless. The atmosphere was extremely awkward for a while. We're looking for a director of Chang'an. My wife was very excited to return. I can't stop it. It shouldn't have disturbed the master's weekend. At this time, Hanju had the heart to kill him. Hurriedly gave him a drop of eyes and told him to shut up. Sun Chang'an immediately understood. Okay, master. The apprentice went to prepare the fine oysters. At this time, Xing Hongxian could no longer suppress his anger. Let's talk about who he really is. The sword protector is heartfelt. Knew he said that I called the Enlightenment Sword. What do you want? Xing Hongxian was extremely unhappy in his heart. What a broken name this is. He squinted at Hanju. My husband has come in, and his taste has declined. It was said that the name was ugly. The Enlightenment Sword was also extremely unhappy. The name was given to me by the owner. What qualifications do you have to say ugly? Oh, master, husband, I'm pretty good at playing. Hanju was in a cold sweat. Enlightenment Dao Sword, you first go to the cave to cultivate. Let me out. Enlightenment Sword pouted. This is the first time he has to be beaten out by Hanju. I guess as a concubine will never be one step away from the master. Xing Hongxian sighed. What mountain is this fairy from? Hanju shook his head helplessly. What a fairy. He's the weed you gave me before. Changed behavior. Xing Hongxian was stunned. He's the pot of grass. Xing Hongxian complained about Dao Fujuan. If you want a woman, you can tell me. There's no need to have a deep conversation with a grass. Otherwise, I won't go out in the future. Let's move over with you. Don't even think about it. Don't disturb my cultivation. But I miss you. It's not enough for you to have a puppet in the sky. Xing Hongshuan's pretty face turned red instantly. Unless he was doing those things. Was noticed by Hanju. The two of them are having a lively fight. It really opened the eyes of the Enlightenment Sword. Can you hang out now? I have something to do with your grandmother. It is the Sword of Enlightenment. Hanju changed the subject. asked Xing Hongxian how he had been doing over the years. He wanted to ask if there were any treasures. I don't think it's good to be too direct. Xing Hongxian sat beside Hanju. Begin to tell about the experiences of these years. These years have not been peaceful outside. As the demon Dao flourishes, he has also fought against demons countless times. If he can beat him, he will fight. If he can't beat him, he will admit it or run away. He stumbled upon a demonic powerhouse. He was also instructed to cultivate that demonic power. He is the apprentice of the white-haired mushroom, one of the 5 demons of the demon Dao. It is a fit to go big. The repair room wants to accept Xing Hongxian as an apprentice. Xing Hongxian said that he had a husband. I'll have to go back and ask first. Although the demon cultivator was displeased, but I agreed. He had encountered this kind of opportunity several times. The concubine is bent on going back to Yukingzong to find you. But here you are. Role-playing of the species. You'll have to give me an explanation. The Enlightenment sword was driven out of the cave. Meet the brothers for the first time. Xing Hongxian returned and had an in-depth exchange with Hanju. Don't row away for a month. Your top luck is here again. Friends who can't wait can go to the comment area to take a look. There's a way to see it in one go. The book is picked up again. After Xing Hongxian returned to the Immortal Mountain, started talking to Hanju, talked about the experience of being away from home over the years. Heaven and Earth grass was also driven out of the cave by Hanju for the first time. There is a fairy running out of the master's cave. This surprised several disciples. No wonder the master has never been lonely after 13 years of retreat. It turned out to be accompanied by fairies. When he ran into Kunkin, they realized that something was wrong. How can this fairy have the breath of heaven and earth grass on his body? Could it be that he rode like Chang'an? Sun Chang'an said. Sky. The concentration of aura on the ground grass was even heavier than him. No wonder the master stuffed him in the cave every day. The sky has eyes. We have cultivated hard to become a fairy mountain and finally come to the girl. Several people instantly surrounded the heaven and earth grass. It was as if the old wolf, who had been hungry for a few days, saw the little white rabbit. The trembling of heaven and earth under the grass. I don't know what these guys are going to do. Which Kuan instantly touched a fishing rod. Welcome to the Penance Immortal Air Force Brigade. Sun Chang'an explained that every time a new person joins, chopsticks will be added to send fishing rods. It's our tradition. You have a newbie protection period. Fishing is guaranteed not to return to the Air Force. At this time, the mind of the Enlightenment ship was still in the innate cave mansion. After all, this was the first time he had left the cave. Don't you want me? Kuan hurriedly comforted him and said don't worry about it. Grandmother is back. The master has to be busy for a while. Little sister, why don't you go fishing with us first? Several people hurriedly agreed. Would like to ask his name. After all, it's not nice to call it heaven and earth grass. Heaven and earth grass proudly said that my name is Enlightenment Sword. Thank you for your kind attention in the future. A few people were petrified in an instant. Was the name given by the master? Otherwise, you still call heaven and earth grass. At this time, the congenital cave is in the house. Hanju and Xing Hongxian are still reminiscing, looking at so many demon Dao tokens in front of you. Most of them. The number is full of the aura of merging into the demon cultivation. Hanju ridiculed Xing Hongxian for being really fateful. When you meet so many strong people, you can still get out of the way. Husband, are you afraid of offending them? Xing Hongxian's tone was full of ridicule. In his heart, even the demon saint who had survived the catastrophe couldn't defeat him. The husband and the gentleman are not afraid of it. Hanju also teased and said, of course I'm afraid. After all, they have a strong background. In case of a fight, I beat someone to death. The master above him still has to seek revenge. I'll have to find a way to kill their master. It's troublesome. Xing Hongxian thinks about it, and this is indeed the truth. It's not been very quiet out there lately. Don't go out. You're all gone. The lifespan should be close to 1,000 years. Since the longevity is sufficient, then stay by my side and cultivate well. I heard that Hanju asked him to stay. Xing Hongxian immediately blushed, buried his head in Hanju's arms. That's right, husband. I have something for you. Saying something, he started churning in the collar. Hanju Ashin said that the woman of this world. Do you have all the treasures in this place? Not much. Xing Hongxian pulled out a pink crystal fragment. This stone. It's about the same size as the one that fell from the sky before. It can also isolate the divine stone. The difference is, this piece seems to be a man-made seal. Hanju frowned, and the divine stone forcibly did. Breakthrough boom. There are still memories of the former owner in the stone. It was a palace, located above a sea of clouds. The fairy gate stands tall. The two large characters on it shone with a dazzling golden light. Heavenly Court. Hanju was taken aback. At this moment, a large mountain in the clouds rushed towards him. Break through the clouds and cold. Only then did I see clearly what kind of mountain this was. It's clearly a monster beast the size of the sky. Above the clouds, the heavenly soldiers lined up in arrays. Surprise was written in big letters. I saw a man standing in the air, proud of the huge monster in front of him. If this person were not heaven and earth, who else could he be? The golden light in the monster's mouth condensed, spit out spells and shoot them into heaven and earth. I saw heaven and earth slowly raise their hands. Watson pointed and said that the sword opened the wilderness. In an instant, a clear light shot out. The demon beast that stood on the top of the sky and the earth invited guests and turned into ashes. Hanju's divine history was also instantly pulled back to reality. The system immediately prompts him to be greatly increased. Interestingly, it all happened very quickly. Xing Hongxian was stunned for a moment. Not bad. Good baby indeed. Hanju is satisfied with filial piety. Then he took out the 9-star stepping forest boots and gave them to Xing Hongxian. Pay somebody back in the same coin. Hanju put down his boots, under the pretext of going out to instruct the disciples. How could Xing Hongxian let him go easily? Husband, boots don't matter anything. You know what I want. As he spoke, he put down Hanju like a tiger pounced on a stone. Hanju sighed helplessly. Can't we cultivate honestly? Howren Hanju struggled at this moment. Can't escape Xing Hongxuan's clutches. Hanju's howl resounded through the immortal mountain. It reached the ears of the enlightenment sword who was fishing. Somehow, he asked his master what was wrong. Kuan told him that his master was going to be eaten again. The untouched enlightenment sword turned around and was about to be saved. Hanju was stopped by Kuan with a blow to the teeth. You seem to be a bit of a tiger. Don't go bad for the good things of the master. The enlightenment sword is still not. Stop asking. Kuan reluctantly told him that you would understand in the future. A month later, Xing Hongxian, who was full of red light, walked out of the Xiantian cave mansion. The constant praise of the catastrophe is really different. It's much more energetic than before. Kuan was also busy offering hospitality to Xing Hongxian. And the enlightenment sword found out. This woman is full of the breath of her master. Could it be that something has happened to the master? He immediately flew into the cave. The scene in front of him brought tears to his eyes. Host, master, why are you like that? The devil's way swept in. The Yuqing holy sect is ready to unite with the righteous path to fight back. Hanju suggested continuing to cultivate. When the sky fell, Elder Han walked away. Your top luck is here again. I'm anxious to see the follow-up, friends. You can go to the comment area to take a look. There is a way to see Shuangao in one breath. The book is picked up again. Hanju and Xing Hongxian practiced in retreat for a month. The enlightenment sword couldn't wait to run into the innate cave mansion. Seeing Hanju being bombed, he was like a dry draft. He was very distressed. Hurriedly asked Hanju if he was injured. Kuroheim said you were eaten by the woman. The woman, Hanju, grabbed the face of the enlightenment sword. Don't get old with that woman. That woman's is your grandmother. Have you forgotten? Is he the one who brought you here? Enlightenment sword then understood. It turns out that this woman is the master's genuine wife. Does Hanju know that this dead fat Kuin is talking nonsense again? It's time to bang and knock him. So many years have passed. I don't know how the cultivation realm outside has changed. Hanju called up the interpersonal relationship to check the email. Your friend don't take revenge. Sealed in the forbidden land by your friend Shinshir. Your god's favor, the chaos Tengu. Encounter your apprentice Suki. Spread bad luck. Because he is a beast of luck. Luck offsets bad luck. Your enemies will succeed. Encounter your apprentice Suki to spread bad luck. Demonic Long. Your friend Huang Zhengtian was attacked by his peers. Your friend Luo Ball Demon is attacked by a demon cultivator. Your Dao Lu Xian Qin army has returned to the world. Your friend Zhou Fan was reincarnated and rebuilt. Awaken past life memories. Hanju frowned. No revenge. And Zhou Fan, the two brothers, are too miserable. One is sealed. A reincarnation of life and death. I don't know when the seal will see the light of day. Reincarnation comes all over again. I don't know when they will meet again. Sooner or later, the power of the Demon Emperor will also spread to Dian. Hanju had a sense of crisis. We must seize the time to cultivate. Dog cultivation is the hardest. It is important to ensure that the Jade Flute kills with one hit. Looking at Xing Hongxian outside the cave. Running around with the Master of Enlightenment. Sun Chang'an shook his head and smiled bitterly. Ask what the world is like. Black JG came over and said, Chang'an, didn't you have a bad mood for not fishing today? Sun Chang'an shook his head. I just sighed. Even a grass has feelings. Kuroheim snorted. I know. Chinner is dead. Sun Chang'an's smile froze instantly. Kuro Kayuheim wasn't kidding. Chinner is indeed dead. He died outside 10 years ago while he was out training. Li Qingzi knew about his past with Sun Chang'an. I told him about it. After that, in addition to cultivating and fishing, Sun Chang'an was found. Most of the time, I can't give up. It's okay if Hyuji is filial and dead. He doesn't look down on you anyway. Practice well. Later, when you ascend, I will send you a fairy. Yang Tiandong can't stand it, Brother Ji. How many times have I told you to stop irritating him? Murong Chi couldn't get used to seeing his master being bullied. Get up and go to Master Ji. Let's take a look. Senior brother, let's get good together. Fong Liang followed and got up. A look of eagerness to try. The two of them cultivated more and more intensively. I've been holding back a lot of energy to teach fat chickens a lesson. Black JG was dismissive. But there is a sense of crisis in my heart. The breakthrough speed of these two stupid boys is too fast. And so on. Sooner or later, one day will be surpassed. It would be nice if he had another pig and dog. The black jade chicken looked down at the trunk of the fuso tree. A bold idea popped into my head. Otherwise, he would have left the fuso tree for a while. Wonderful, maybe a good idea. Another 13 years have passed. Guyuanzhou Tianya Pavilion is suffering from a catastrophe. Countless demonic cultivators are coming. The people of Tianya Pavilion were all wiped out. Only the Xiaogu people remained. The Demon Emperor Esh ordered him to surrender immediately. Or you can spare his life. How do you know that the Lord of Xiao Pavilion adheres to the right path? Mobilize the spiritual power of the whole body. With tolerance, we will do our best to report ourselves. Died with the demon cultivators present. The old pavilion master learned that his son was dead. Choked up with tears. The demon Dao dynasty led by the demon emperor began to attack the righteous sect of the world. It's overwhelming. One by one, the righteous sects were discipled one after another. Juding Zhenren intends to unite the world's major sects. The Holy Land began to fight back. It is worth mentioning. All the demon Dao sects of Dian have been evacuated, except for casual breaks. Today's Dian no longer has a single demon Dao sect. Of course, there is such a thing as a war. It's best to ask the God-Slayer Elder first. On this day, Juding real people came to visit in person. Hanju's first reaction was that Yu Qingzong had an accident again. Juding real person is saying, the Mothians have begun to wage war on the right path. The world is in chaos. I'd like to ask you what you think. In this battle, we will fight or flee. Hanju's face did not change and said, My opinion is very simple. Continue to develop with peace of mind. The Yuqing Holy Sect is not the first in the world. Even the world's third-rate sects may not be able to be counted. With our strength, we can't change the world's major events. Instead of being cannon fodder, it's better to practice well. Juding Zhenren was stunned when he saw the Enlightenment walking. Elder Han Jinwu Zhangjiao. When the sky fell, there was a holy place of righteousness. The heavenly immortal mansion alone is enough for the demon Tao to drink a few pots. Why should we mix it up? After hearing this, Juding real people felt that it made sense. He hesitated for a moment, asked how Elder Han's cultivation was now. At the beginning, he heard that Hanju was strong enough to crush and eat. I almost scared the pea. It's only been a few years. Hanju's breakthrough speed was too exaggerated. Hanju replied that he was still in the tribulation realm. These two words deeply stimulated Juding real people. He knew that Hanju was only over 500 years old. He had never heard of the 500-year-old crossing tribulation. Big grooming, this is outrageous. Go ahead, even if the demon emperor comes, there will still be me. Hearing Hanju's words, Juding real people are relieved. Say goodbye and leave at once. Wu Dao's sword asked curiously who this old man was. Hanju asked him to be polite. He is the elder sect of the Yuqing Holy Sect. Enlightenment sword asked Hanju excitedly. Can I go to the Yuqing Holy Sect for a walk? Go ahead, and by the way, talk to Black Jade and them. Don't leave the Yuqing Holy Sect in the near future. The Enlightenment sword suddenly jumped with joy. Leave immediately. At this time, Hanju was prompted by the system again. The number of attacks on the Golden directly exceeded 50,000. Is this a stab at the demon cultivator Laos? The Golden Horn fought hard in the devil's way. Welcome to the source of the heavenly immortal mansion. Hanju passed on the disciples and let them go down the mountain after they stopped learning. Don't take away your top-notch charm again. Ladies and gentlemen, audience, can you send it to the next free little flower? Can't wait, friends. You can check it out in the lower left corner or in the comments. Dusk sky. Poignant and picturesque. A man is built only on the mountainside. His white robe was stained with blood, and it turned crimson. Although the hair is messy, but it's murderous. This person is none other than Huang Jihao. Huang Ji gasped for air. He had been standing for 5 days and 5 nights. The spiritual power is almost exhausted. That's when it happened. Rolling clouds gathered. The vastness of heaven and earth envelopes the heavens and the earth. Huang Jihao's face was poopy. My heart sank, and the power of the demon path came. Junior, your talent is good. If you are willing to kneel, I can't help but kill you. This voice is a Luoqiu demon. Huang Qi's face was gloomy. He felt an unprecedented crisis. This demon in front of him is definitely not an opponent. Huang Qi couldn't help but think of Hanju. This demon is in the power and is the opponent of that senior. If I don't even have the courage to face this demon, how will I challenge that senior again in the future? Born Kenshin. Born without seeing it. Died without seeing it. If ignorance, the sword is no longer sharp. What's the point of living without a knack? If there is a kind, come on, pull as many pads as you can. Just as the imperial title was about to raise its sword, streams of mighty crows came from all directions. Since ancient times, evil has prevailed over good. Face the devil's way. The righteous path should be groomed rather than give in. Becky, you're doing a great job. Listen to voices coming from all directions. Huang Jihao let out a sigh of relief. It's the righteous way that is coming. All the demon cultivators of Wei Yaya were terrified. Oops, the heavenly immortal mansion has come to the rescue. It's a Ji Kongdao person. Luo Qiumo really thought that there was no one on the right path. Luo Qiu demon also snorted coldly. Where did the old thing come from? I don't know whether to live or die. Behind the old man, there was another decoration of the opening Luo Ball demon. Move your body over. What a little trick to play with a doppelganger. Say it. Luo Ball Demon broke through the sky. It turned out to be a technical empty man. And wait for you to just break through to the tribulation. Nearly 8 floors can block the deity. It's a dream. What if we are at it? As he spoke, several more figures broke through the air. Ancestor, I have been in retreat for thousands of years. Jin when Demon Dao wants to control the world. It's a joke. Old friends have not seen each other for many years. It's a long way to go. Another pool of Thunder Valley magic weapon fat modification smiled and asked. Today, they killed one of the 5 demons together. There is no righteous way. Carrying the decoration of the picture scroll, he said in a positive voice. Luo Chioma looked at the 5 people in front of him. Looking back is the heavenly immortal mansion. Worship the ancestor Dashang Jin, 3-layer cultivation. 5 of the 12 Dao people from the heavenly immortal mansion came at once. Is this a bit tricky? Several Taoists greeted each other. I didn't take Luo Chio Demon seriously at all. After that, a few people will urge Tiangang to seal the demon Dafa. Luo Chio Demon is a little jealous, but still slapped the tongue. The canon expressed dissatisfaction. That's how the 5 of them fought with Luo Ball Demon. Stir up the surrounding turmoil. Split the mountains and break the sea. At this time, Yukingzong was also paying attention to the battle situation in the world. When I learned that the powerful doors of the righteous path in the world were out one after another, the elders of the Yuqing holy sect were all overjoyed. There are even quite a few elders. I want to be a part of this great conspiracy. Fortunately, Juding Zhenren strongly suppressed these remarks. The disciples of the Yuqing holy sect were not allowed to leave Dian. The elders were puzzled. At this time, it is a good time for the Yuqing holy sect to become famous in the world. If you miss this opportunity, I don't know what year or month it will take. Juding is the true human body of the gods. Since the elder did not give the order to attack the demon Dao, it shows that this matter is definitely not as simple as it seems. Although the demon Dao is retreating, but the demon emperor never showed up. Obviously, there is a backhand. Next, we must defend to the throne. Don't mess up the plan of the god of war elder with a hot brain. 7 years have passed. Fang Liang has broken through to the Yuanying path. Fang Liang's talent was even more fierce than that of Morong Qi, made all the apprentices worship Han Ju even more. In their opinion, this is all the credit of Han Ju's change of life. Kuan was also amazed by Fang Liang's rapid progress. It won't be long before this kid has to surpass himself. I bullied his master every day. I can't guarantee that this kid won't seek revenge on me in the future. Kuan looked at the Fusang Divine Tree again and couldn't wait any longer. I have to find an opportunity to implement my Zhudong plan as soon as possible. That's when it happened. Enlightenment saw Han Morongqi and Fang Liang entering the cave. It was said that the master had something to say to them. When the conscience is troubled, Master summoned us. It can't be that we make a mistake again. Morongqi Taoist is smart. I have already guessed the intention of the ancestor. Have you forgotten the promise that your ancestor made to you back then? He must be going to guide you personally. Desolation instantly became a flower. He had been looking forward to this day for a long time. The 2 of them entered the cave to meet Han Ju, and the 2 of you are extremely talented. Today, I will pass on the 2 of you and my 4 great masters. As he spoke, Han Ju mobilized his spiritual power. Knock the peerless into the 2. The 3 clear shadow swords of the divine time are 7 times the cloth is changed. Great thousand thunderstorm sealing divine technique. The 4 great masters are all passed on to the 2. These 4 masteries can protect the 2 of you from being able to occupy them. If you want more, you can keep it. Desire is forced. If you want to be strong, you can escape. May the 2 of you be on the path of cultivation. Take 1 step and run 10 steps. Thousands of steps. Thoroughly take the road to immortality. The 2 of them were grateful and bowed to Han Ju. It means that the disciple will stay by the side of the master in this life. But the ancestor walked the path of immortality. However, Han Ju smiled slightly. Today I will teach you the exercises. It is not for you to be confined in the mountains. You two go. Murong-chi said goodbye to the bitter rest. Descend the mountain and fight in the cold. Loaded into the long river of Kindo. Can you have an epiphany? Don't take away your top luck. Friends who can't wait can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the QQ Reading app. Search for Don't Wave Quietly Cultivate novels. The highlights are presented in full instant. The book is picked up again. Hanju passed on the 4 tricks to Fong Liang and Morong Chiho. Let the two of them leave the penance and cultivate into the immortal mountain. Fong Liang asked in a panic why Shirzuni wanted to drive me. Is it the disciple who has done something wrong? Hanju smiled bitterly and said what you could do. Hanju had his own plans in his heart. Fong Liang is the son of heaven and earth. In just 10 days, it was up to the Yuaning Trail. This speed, even if it is Morong Chi, the last god of war. Qualifications for reincarnation. Can't compare to him. So many years in the mountains. Fong Liang has developed a cautious character. Prudent stars plus heaven and earth luck. I'm afraid it will be difficult to die in the future. And Morong Chi's personality is the opposite of Fong Liang. Now penance is too slow for him. The posture of the god of war still needs to be experienced before it can make a breakthrough. Hanju let the two relax. You are all Tianzong equipment. When he was young, he entered my mountain gate. Although the practice went smoothly. But mortal experience is insufficient. Morong Chi asked cautiously. You want us to be like a sect? The disciples went out to practice like that. That's right, and it's the kind of experience that hasn't been returned for a long time. Just like your second uncle. Morong Chi was secretly happy in his heart. My ancestor finally agreed to let me go down the mountain. In fact, he has long wanted to go away and fly high. I think that my talent can definitely be famous all over the world. Become a strong man that everyone admires. Although he has never denied the strength of his ancestor. But not everyone is suitable for penance. Outside, though, there may not be such a place as penance cultivation into an immortal mountain. But the strong have always been able to create their own conditions. How did he know that Fong Liang had defeated his disciple again? Heartless. I just want to pursue immortality with my ancestors. Hanju touched Fong Liang's head. The path to immortality is not as simple as you think. Reason. Modification is not only about self-cultivation, but also about cultivating the mind. If you want to be complete, you have to make up for the earthly experience. Morong Chi hurriedly patted Fong Liang, and what master ancestor said was right. You still listen to your ancestors. I'll take you out for a walk around the mundane. Fong Liang is reluctant to give up. Hanju didn't want to say anything more. Go through the experience. With that, he teleported the two out of the innate cave mansion. Before leaving, Hanju instructed another sentence of urban experience. I saw through the red dust. In order to truly understand the controversy between heaven and earth, you can all take on the tasks of the sect. You can come back at any time when you are tired. Yang Tiandong, Sun Chang'an, and Kuan Kuan were stunned. Master, this is the first time that people have been allowed to go down the mountain to experience. Yang Tiandong, who is full of experience. Teach the two of them their experience. Those who can be beaten will be beaten to death. Those who can't be beaten quickly recognize them as their father-in-law. Kuan Kuan knows it well. How can you go down the mountain to experience how comfortable in this pushio? The progress of this cultivation must be extremely slow. When the two of them returned, his pig fight plan must have been completed. By that time, you two boys are waiting to be crushed by the peeping master. Enlightenment Sword looked at them very puzzled. Is it really that important for the master to go out and experience? I went down the hill and thought it was boring. Hanju said that your upbringing is thousands of years. Naturally, I feel that this world is boring. You can cultivate in peace. Your talents are no worse than theirs. And no stars are missing. New work's hard, and you'll be able to catch up with them soon. Enlightenment Sword nodded. What the host said must be correct. The two of them left. Although Hanju was reluctant, but soon calmed me down and went my own way. You have your stage. There will definitely be a place for you in the world of the future. I don't know who will be more surprised next time I come back. Will that kid have become a god by then? The three people left behind stood at the top of the hill and looked out. As a master, Sun Chang'an is naturally worried about his apprentice. Kunkin also thought of the dog he hadn't seen for years. I don't know how he's doing now. Is it still alive? Yang Tiandong advised him to worry less. The dog is very hard. You should worry more about your own cultivation. Speaking of dogs, he and Suki are not doing well. Now he is still working as a dogleg for the Demon Emperor. 8 years have passed in a flash. Kuan Kuren took advantage of Han Ju's retreat to cultivate. He secretly removed the nest from the Fuso tree, looking forward to the arrival of the Golden House soon. Suddenly one day, purple glow shines in the sky. Kuan looked up excitedly and exclaimed, "Finally coming! Kuan-yi, I can finally advance again." The true martial sect Zhong on the other side also saw this sound. Someone who reported to the Shangguan elder had another understanding. Wangu saw Shangguan and asked to see him. It's no surprise about this. After all, Hanju is separated by a while. It's going to have to be like this in the future. And on the other side of the congenital cave house, Hanju, who had just reached the nearly 6th floor of the tribulation, can't wait to fight against the Xin Qin army. This time, Hanju was not defeated immediately. He used his whole body to solve the problem. Push hard. Finally able to fight against Xin Qinjun for a few minutes. And in the end, it was a hard-fought victory. Although it was fought. But after all, I used everything I could. When it comes to actual combat, the opponent will not give him that much time. The Demon Emperor and Xin Qinjun cultivated the same. When the time comes, it will be troublesome if you can't kill it in seconds. At this moment, Hanju also saw the abnormal sound of the antenna. This is someone who has stepped into the long river of Kendo. Then again, the last time he realized it. It's still time to go together. Now the catastrophe has entered. It's time to go in and have another look. I saw someone who comprehended it through the ages. Shangguan was not happy to ask to see him. I didn't know that the little brother came to report again. Others have comprehended the eternal sights. And this time the color doesn't seem right. It was purple just now. Now it's purple gold. This is a symbol of the eternal view of the advanced to the extreme. Shangguan's mentality of seeking to see completely collapsed. 2 innate whims in one day. Have you seen the rotten street for all ages? At this time, Hanju came to the long river of Kendo with the familiar car. This time is different. He can manipulate his consciousness to move forward. Stop this time, and you should still meet the man. Hanju thought silently. He stepped forward. One figure after another was surpassed by him. He walked uninhibitedly. Pay attention to the sword cultivation screen that flashes by in the process. After a while, Hanju saw one. A familiar figure awaited him ahead. He immediately greeted the seniors. "It's been a long time since I saw you, but it's okay." It wasn't a long time for the other party to snort. "I just didn't expect you to come again so soon. This time, it's all going to stop you. You go and die." Hanju came to him. "Hug your fists and filial piety. Thank you for your predecessors for helping you many times." "I don't know the name of my predecessor. He ascended day by day. The younger generations will definitely come to thank you." The other party snorted, and he was close to me. "No testimony. When I saw Changhe, I just wanted to protect it. Those who are greedy for the rich and strong cannot become a great tool. You're not as good as the Tianjiao who just came. He didn't go as far as you did. But the heart is excellent. It is not difficult for him to become a sword immortal one day." Hanju was really there just now. Hanju raised his eyebrows and asked curiously, who was the person's name? The other party said that the matter of heavenly cause and effect naturally cannot be said. But here's what I can tell you. That person has cause and effect with you. Hanju thought hard and walked hard. There was no far difficulty. Cultivation is fixed under me. If it is the same congenital deed, it can also be called Tianjiao. Then there is only a natural Qinshin. He has reached the end of his glory. Predecessor. Is the person you were talking about called Huangjiahao? I saw that the guardian immediately shut up. The things of heaven are what you say. Don't rely on me. The Baron stepped out of the sixth part of Tai. Repairs have been greatly improved. Luoqiu Demon was born and died to Shao Tianxian Mansion, who made a move. Don't take away your top luck. Can't wait to see the follow-up, friends. You can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Qiuqiu reading app. Search for Don't Wave and Cultivate quietly. Exciting content is ready to go. The book is picked up again. Han Ju learned that the Huangji had also entered before him. After seeing Changhe, he didn't ask more. Keep moving. When he crosses the mystery man, just one step is a lot of pressure. He moved on to step 2. Step 3. The last time you stop at step 3. Unable to move forward. This time, Han Ju went one step further. Step 4. The mysterious man warns him that if you have to die, don't expect nothing to save you this time. Han Ju gritted his teeth. Naturally, I don't bother my predecessors to step out in the 5th step. Terrible pressure came head-on. It made Han Ju miserable. When you want to take the 6th step, the feet can no longer be lifted. I just felt my chest shrinking. Inability to breathe. Boy, you fall and go forward. It is likely to be a spiritual protector. This is no joke. If there is a blue flame that burns the soul, that's the way of heaven warning you know. Gotta move forward and persuade you to stop. I don't hear it. The mysterious man said he wouldn't interfere anymore. But he still dissuaded Han Ju so far. The explosion of the soul will affect the main body. Even if it doesn't fall, the road will also fall sharply as a result. How do you know that Han Ju doesn't listen to the ancient people? After stepping out of Tai with the flames of soul burning. In the 6th part, Han Ju smiled slightly. Han never fights unprepared battles. Mystery people are very different. With his strength to cross the robbery mirror, how can he carry the divine stone? The strength must be at least close to Tai. And he didn't know it. It's Xinghongxian. The stone given to Han Ju was a great help. Trying the nameless thing helped him strengthen the divine stone. Han Ju knew. It's already the limit for the crossing mirror to come here. When it comes to Deshang, how far can we go? I can go the extra mile now. One step closer to the path of immortality. Han Ju's divine stone began to retreat from the long river of Jiandao. The purpose of the juniors has been achieved. I won't disturb the cultivation of my predecessors. The mysterious man sighed that he could still retreat in 6 steps. It is estimated that he will return thousands of years later. No, I'm afraid it won't last for 100 years. Mere mortal. Was able to take 6 steps in the long river after Tai. Tens of millions of sword cultivators in the mortal realm are inferior to him. What the hell is this kid coming from? It seems that this matter has to be conveyed to this product for millions of years. Finally had fun. Cultivation began to grow wildly. A vigorous aura poured out from the immortal heaven cave mansion. In order not to affect others, Han Ju opened the system enchantment and sealed the cave. 7 days later, his cultivation no longer grew. Although there is still some distance from the 7th floor of the catastrophe. But it's better than years of penance. At this time, the system sends a prompt. The stars of war have a crush on you. The current friendship rating is 1 star. Tai True Immortal Midterm Town Guard saw. Millions of years because of your top qualifications. Affection for you. But there are still big doubts about your stars. If you deliberately accosted him again, will annoy him. Tai Zhenxian is a good cow batch. Han Ju saw the gaze behind him. I couldn't help but look embarrassed. Is this the strong? It's cold. Will you increase your favor by ignoring him directly next time? I'm going to have to hug this thigh. Although it is said that climbing the strong cannot become a great tool. But before you can hold it, you still have to hold it. The system pops up again. Your supernatural powers. Heaven and Earth Xinhuang Breaking Ring Swordfinger has been greatly improved. Promoted to Tai supernatural powers. Now the long-range combat means are also complete. Han Ju planned to find Xin Qingjun again to simulate the battle. He set the simulation level to 3 layers of large diameter. Even if it's a mock trial, you have to fight steadily. However, he was already familiar with the discussion of Xian Qingjuan's operations. He had tried and practiced thousands of times before. The means of nearly 3 layers remain the same. It can be said that it is not creative. This time, he directly cast the Heaven and Earth Xianhuang Breaking Sword Finger. It takes 2 seconds to end the flash kill simulation trial. 1 second to cut out the nonsense. Finally achieved a spike. Go on a trip to see the outrageous progress of the Long River. Hanju intends to increase the difficulty again. He then raised the difficulty to the 4th floor of the Dashang Mirror. It's still a spike. One move of Tai's sword finger stabbed Xian Qingjun. I can't cultivate myself into a Dashang Mirror. But it is a move on the mirror. It's a bit pompous, but it's enough to deal with the Demon Emperor. After all, the higher the cultivation, the greater the gap between the same levels. The system prompts that the demon army will most likely not be connected to the battle. The strength of this level of 6 layers should not be careless. The winner of the master battle is often only in a split second. Fortunately, the riders of the Xinqin army are used to it, and Hanju knows it. As long as the robbers take the lead, I will definitely take it. I don't know that the demon lord of the west has arrived. A ghost smile appeared in front of him. Instantly froze through Hanju's younger brother. Hanju was unwilling. Even the tactical field proved in the end. His reaction speed really didn't make a big difference. The little brother on the 6th floor also suffered a lot of sins because of this. At this moment, the system sent another prompt. The circle of friends is still lively, but one of them kept him from startling. Luoqiu demon turned out to be dead. Yes. Now there are only 3 demon venerables left. I don't know which fairy master made it. At this time, the smoke of gunpowder had just cleared somewhere. Luo Ball demon's remnants were left with his last breath. He lamented how it could be. You've only crossed the 9th floor. A man smiled coldly. I cut this sword for my ancestors. Ancestors worship ancestors. Could it be that you are from the heavenly immortal mansion? That's right, you can escape the 1st year of junior high school. Naturally, you can't escape 15. I just got out of the customs and had this job. Although it was a bit of a hassle. But let's give you a discount. I'll leave you a whole corpse. Die grateful. 5 years in the blink of an eye. Hanju broke through the tribulation for nearly 7 floors. Mo Zhuyu left the Yuqing sect in danger for his family. Don't take away your top luck. Can't wait to see the follow-up, friends. You can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Qiuqiu reading app. Search for Don't Wave and Cultivate quietly. The wonderful content is immediately presented on the streets. After Luo Qiuma was killed, Hanju led the apprentices to continue their penance. 5 years later, everyone improved rapidly. The Enlightenment Sword is about to impact Yuaning Jin. Yang Tiandong was already close to the Divine Mirror. And Kuren Kuin is still struggling with the dissolving microscope. Slow cultivation is like a rooster laying eggs. Hanju successfully broke through to the 7th floor of the crossing mirror. He was very satisfied with the speed of his cultivation. Compare yourself to your friends and enemies in your relationships. His breakthrough speed is absolutely unbeatable. Hanju secretly played blood. Jinaiha. Hope there's a chance for me to kill you. Don't be gone before you meet me. This month, a real person is needed. Said that Maju had to see Hanju. There has been no news of Maju for a long time. Something is wrong? Since the Mo family demon palace incident, Emoju spends most of his time cultivating quietly. Cultivation is also growing quite fast. The Baron was in the secret shop in an instant. Ask Lord Emo what is the matter and hurry to see him. Lord Emo bowed his head and said nothing. A moment replied, Please, let me out. My people are waiting for me to save them. Hanju was puzzled by the Dao people. It's Emo revenge or your ancestors. I will save the Lord when he reaches me. They told you to save it. Lord Emo nodded. Hanju turned around and asked the Forbidden Beard how he was notified. It is impossible for a real person to say it. No one knows about the secret store. And there is a history of forbidden isolation of gods. Hanju was stunned. Could it be that all of your MO families are far ahead? What exactly is the means used to connect? Hanju said, I promised not to take revenge and take care of you. Now the outside world is raging. You haven't even arrived at the avatar mirror. There is only a dead end to get out. Not to mention your strange ancestors. Emoju grabbed Hanju's hand. Seriously, I know what you're worried about. I'm worried that I'll be deceived by the Emo family. But although our Emo family is a demonic way, but not coldly. Now the entire Emo family is sealed. Only I'm still here. If I don't save them, the Emo family will die. I finally got to know all but my brother. There are other people in the Emo family. I am not willing to ignore their suffering. Hanju was so calm that you might really die if you go out. Are you still going? Emoju nodded heavily. If you insist on going, go ahead. Hanju took out a sentence. A puppet of the sky that has been prepared for a long time. Put this away and put it in the storage area. It can save your life in times of crisis. This time, I left. Don't think I'm going to come out and save you. If you live or die, we can only renew our fate in the next life. Drop that word. Hanju turned around and left. Slightly let the pure beard real person lift the secret seal. Tell Maju that he can leave at any time. Emoju couldn't wait to run out of the mountain gate. The real life of the pure beard is out there. Don't lose the face of the Yuqing holy sect. The spiritual transformation path is right in front of you. Why can't you make a plan after the breakthrough? Emoju shook his head. If this ordeal could not be resolved, I'm afraid it will become a demon. If you have a life, you can come back. The disciple is always around the elder, and the British ban is small. After that, he went down the mountain without looking back. Walked to the bottom of the mountain. Emoju detected a hint of breath. Look back at the top of the mountain. He knew the man was watching him. Maju Comet smiled. I'll be back. Hanju stood on the top of the mountain and did not make a sound. Silently watched Emoju leave. The world is sinister. I hope you can avoid evil. I'm relieved. Maju has been marked by him with 6 marks. If he dies or dies, Hanju could still find him. He set up the heavenly golem. If someone dares to mess with Maju, they can be directly wiped out. Hanju looked at the ink ghost on the Book of Doom. I won't curse you anymore. I hope you do it yourself. It is difficult to risk for the family. So it seems. I also have to thank my parents for abandoning me in this life. Saved me a lot of trouble. Hanju smiled bitterly. Enlightenment saw him and asked him where his parents were now. Hanju waved his hand. So many years have passed. They may have long since turned to bones. For a moment, Hanju remembered the past. At that time, their family of 3 was still a medicine stove. His parents were planning to go somewhere. I vaguely mentioned that it was too much trouble to carry a child. Before leaving, tell him to come back soon to pick him up. As a result, there has been no news since. The Iron Guy sent someone to search for the 2 of them. But it wasn't good news. The Iron Guy said they went to that place. How could it be that? Where it is no longer known. Tai Lao Lin wanted to see Hanju. Most of them wanted to talk about it. But don't bother with the Iron Guy. If they were alive, the system should have given a favorability hint a long time ago. Now that man is sitting on his bones. Why should I bother to grieve? Everyone has their own will. He could not have put his own will. Impose it on everyone around you. The people around him can pull a handful, but they will never be crushed. Practicing this path is destined to be lonely. Is it only yourself who can be responsible in the end? And Hanju has only one goal. That is immortality. Hanju said to the Enlightenment Sword if one day, you are also forced to do so. Things that are hard to part with have to leave. I'm not going to force it to stay. After the episode, the ascetic cultivation became Immortal Mountain, and the tranquility was restored again. Hanju occasionally joined the apprentices' fishing team. However, after Fong Liang left, a few guys who have no luck can only release the Air Force every day. The strongest Tianjiao of the heavenly immortal mansion is coming. Yes, there is the enemy. It is a battle or a retreat. Don't paddle away, the top luck is here again. Can't wait to see the wonderful follow-up, friends. You can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Chochio reading app. Search for Don't Wave and Cultivate quietly. Highlights are available instantly. The book has been picked up since Maju left. The people who cultivated into the immortal mountain continued to cultivate. More than 2 years have passed. Kuan, in order to attract elites, created a trick of Genie Taime's mastery. This scene happened to be seen by the real people of Jioding who came to place it. The real person sighed triumphantly. This fat Kuan has grown up. It's time to find him a little female Kuan. Hanju invited Jioding Zhenren into the cave. Jioding excitedly said that there was good news. Sure enough, you're right. There is no need for our Jade Qing Shengzong to make a move. The Devil's Way is unlikely to succeed either. The Holy Land of the Right Path has struck. Luo Qiu Demon, one of the 5 deities of the Demon Tao, was killed by a peerless Tianjiao in the heavenly immortal mansion. That peerless genius. The giant is only 1,000 years old. It's scary. Han raised his eyebrows. He also thought that Luo Qiuma was beaten to death. Unexpectedly, he was killed by a Tianjiao of Tianxian Mansion. Chitos can kill the demon Dao Martial Venerable. It's remarkable. Chitos Daisijin is really terrifying. Hanju asked. Then the demon Dao is not standing now? The eyes and chest are playful. Jioding Zhenren shook his head and said that Luoqiu was dead. On the contrary, it exacerbated the contradiction between good and demon. It is said that the other 4 are about to be born. One of them even reached the 8th floor of Deshang. Hanju continued to ask. Deshang entered the 8th floor. Is it considered the strongest in the demon Dao? Jioding took a sip of tea and replied, it should be counted. After all, the mortal world. There has been no record of Deshang's entry into the 9th floor. That's why. Probably forcibly ascended. At this time, Hanju remembered Xin Qinjun. I don't know if he will participate. He didn't seem to be entirely on the side of the demon path. He's so strong, but he seems to be afraid of something. That's when it happened. Hanju suddenly received a system prompt. A congenital deed has been detected. Whether to check its origin. Hanju raised his eyebrows. Select view now. Abandon the ancestors and cross the catastrophe for nearly 9 floors. Born invincible. Believe that he is the only ancestor above the common people. Extreme conceit. Born in Tianxian Mansion. 100-year-old Jin Dan is 200 years old. The reason is that Tianxian Mansion is the strongest Tianjiao in the history of Tianxian Mansion. I have been practicing in retreat until the war between the 2 realms of justice and demons had to be born. I heard that Guan Yu of Yuqing sect is the first decoration in the world. I came to challenge the strongest Tianjiao in the Tianxian Mansion. Wait a minute. The Tianjiao of the Nofi Cinnabar Luo Ball Demon is this person. Hanju asked. The man who taught the demon to kill the demons. Isn't it called sacrificing to the gods? What a precursor. What is the first sacrifice to the gods? Sacrifice to the gods and miracles. Okay, uncle, you drink tea first. I'm going out for a trip. Now that the system has given a prompt, explain that someone else is nearby. He noticed a point. Jixian, born extremely conceited, the heavenly immortal mansion is rich in megalomania. The previous ones were both cold and conceited. Speaking of which, both of them have been staying in the heavenly immortal mansion. It wasn't until Xiao became a minister that he was born. This heavenly immortal mansion seemed to be deeper than Hanju had imagined. Hanju immediately detected the strongest person in the Jade Qing sect. Soon locked on Mr. Ji. He closed his eyes and began to simulate the trial system. Lingerie meets. Hanju couldn't help but marvel that he was really the strongest Tianjiao. This aura definitely has a face. Hanju swept his eyes and worshipped the ancestor god Deshang. The 4 floors are not necessarily my opponents. Not to mention the nearly 9th floor. Hanju intends to try to resolve the battle within 10 seconds. This time, however, He miscalculated. I saw that the sacrifice god instantly took the lead. Hanju's cheek was instantly slashed. Not a blade, but some metal fragments. In an instant, several more streams of metal swords struck Hanju. The speed is not as fast as the Xinqing army. Hanju was always dodging and didn't make a move. This trick is not like swordsmanship. But with Mr. G's slashing, he kept shooting. Hanju took out the Hongming Judgment Sword. After a sword swing, this interrupted Mr. G's attack. Only then did he see clearly. Mr. G's sword is made up of countless fragments, especially driven by its own aura. Thousands of fragments attack the enemy with aura control. How outrageous this wielding control over the aura must be. At this time, Hanju suddenly felt bad. A moment of distraction. He ignored the debris scattered on the ground behind him. Mr. G shouted and refused. Raspberry shards froze through Hanju's body like bullets. Immediately after that, Mr. G deteriorated instantly. There was not a trace of gasping in front of him, leaving Hanju behind. Hanju immediately resorted to reincarnation suggestions. Was blocked by Mr. G with a sword shield. Immediately after that, Hanju made a sevenfold change of department. Surrounded Mr. G. Then the three clear things were used. This next season, Mr. G will definitely die. How do you know that although Ji Xianxian was wounded, but there is still the strength to fight? Because of him. Out of the secret legend of the heavenly immortal mansion, Lu Guangjian, not only will the power of the three clears fall, he also raised his own aura to the Deshang realm. Ji Xianxian smiled coldly. My secret method can block your attacks 3 times. The next 2 times I'm afraid you won't have a chance. Let's say that the ancestor god used the AoE big move to add wings. The comment hit Hanju again. Hanju's guidance is to underestimate the enemy himself. This man's weapons are very changeable. Spiritual power control is at its peak. The speed is not inferior to Deshang Mirror. There is also a secret method of protecting the body. It can also temporarily break through the strength of the line. So far, the same realm can force me into this situation. He was the only one. No wonder. This person can kill the Luo Ball demon of Deshang Mirror more and more. Hanju sat on the ground injured. After the ancestors, God stood firm before him. He smiled coldly at Hanju. You see that the noise is very high. It's a pity that the physical body is still like that. Only Fan, who was suppressed by me, could die. In the hands of the strongest Tianjiao in my heavenly immortal mansion. Count it as your supreme glory. This won me. Just relax and accept death. Hanju looked at him and didn't make a move. After that, it was Mr. G who fell to the ground. Hanju said that you have committed a big taboo. One is that you shouldn't have a villain dying from talking too much. The second is my Tai spirit treasure. It's not a vegetarian. But you don't lose when you die. The same realm can fight with me for so long. You're the first. Abolish virtual battles. Hanju felt a little tricky. It took 40 seconds. In the case of not being able to kill with one hit, I'm afraid that the Yuqing sect will not be guaranteed. That's when it happened. Hanju heard Xiaosheng someone giving a. This Xiaosheng is full of murderous momentum. It was as if a great battle was brewing. Hanju swept the divine stone out. Discover Sun Chang'an and Kuan Kuan. They didn't seem to hear it. Taoist friends have a strong enemy coming. What to do is to overcome the hardships in an instant. The tone was full of tension. This Xiaosheng can only be heard by crossing the shortcut. The trespasser was so provocative. Du Fu planned to go and teach a lesson. Hanju waved his hand, or I'll go. The other party has already crossed into the 9th floor. 9 layers of catastrophe. How can you say so lightly? Are you already sure? Hanju's battle was the first day of today's immortal mansion. I am the man who wants to become a fairy god. How could it be impossible to lose? Don't take away your top luck. Thank you, fans, for your patience for a week. Thank you also to the fans who scolded me for a week. Friends who can't wait can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Chio reading app. Search for Don't Wave and Cultivate Quietly, and you can see it in one breath. Why do you scold me every day for moving bricks? The book was connected to the strongest Tianjiao in the Tianxian mansion. I don't know who is coming. Hanju could only go and touch it. Dozens of miles away, the mountains stretch. A man in Tsing, he sits on a fork in a tree halfway up the mountain. Gentle and elegant, blowing a green bamboo flute. Hanju's voice floated from this matter. What is the purpose of Daoist friends to use this exploration technique? The man in Tsing, he turned to squint at him. Filial piety in the summer Fuji. Mr. heard about the Yuqing holy sect. There is a big groomer named Guan Yu. It is the first in the world. I'd like to have a fight with them. You said Guan Yu. He was long gone. It's been more than 100 years. Mr. G laughed a little. Where he went, Hanju arrived at him to deal with the demon Dao. Case. Then your excellency and I have a discussion. How not to hurt lives. Hanju shook his head slightly. I am not your opponent. Mr. G sneered again. You can hear my laughter. It's definitely a shortcut, and I can't see through your cultivation. You must be strong. You say yes. Guan Yinchang and Hanju were silent. He began to think about how to defeat Mr. G. This person is extremely conceited. Defeating him will not anger him. If you have to kill him, will it anger the Tianxian mansion? This is Mr. G laughed. Greedy and greedy, Yun Changdao has. I know what you're afraid of. You can rest assured that my Mr. G is inspired by his talents. This battle will not kill you. Hanju sighed in his heart. You're crazy. Hanju asked helplessly, if I win you, you won't be dwelling on it. It even evolved into hatred. The first god smiled more subtly. No. Tell the truth. I'm invincible. Hanju embarrassedly pulled out a 3-bedroom living room. How do you say that? On the cheek. This is absolutely invincible in the world. In this way, you and I will compete with each other, and you will fight for a long time. Whoever takes a step back loses. The priest smiled and said. As he spoke, he pointed at Hanju with a bamboo flute. Hanju thought about it, then go to the sky, so as not to hit the flowers and plants of the Yuqing holy sect. It's easy to say. The two jumped to their feet. In an instant, he jumped above the sea of clouds. The Yuqing holy sect master sealed a palace. Wataru is nervously watching the battle. It is a sacrifice to the first god. The first day of the heavenly immortal mansion. Something happened. It's a big trouble to kill the gods. I thought bitterly and sorrowfully. Above the sea of clouds, the sky is high and magnificent. Hanju and Ji, immortal god, stood opposite each other. Ji, immortal god, beckoned. Yun Chang, Dao you please. Hanju didn't want to shoot too hard. He pulled Lei Lingli out of the 6 spiritual powers. Then a palm burst out. Seeing Hanju use the thunder trick, Mr. G sneered. My fire spirit can restrain you. The moment when the spiritual power of the two collided, the sea of clouds was shaken away. Swept hundreds of miles. Both frowned at the same time. There is only one thought, and the other party is a little strong. Mr. G began to increase his spiritual power. The same is true for Hanju. How am I supposed to act? Hanju is a little entangled. The successor god is also a little difficult. I'm not going to use my power. Wouldn't it be bad if he was hit hard? The two men changed their minds almost in unison. Are all thinking about each other, as the spiritual power of the two became stronger and stronger, cultivating into the people of the immortal mountain. Lamented so many years, it's rare to have a fight with the master. Looking for Chang'an was also puzzled. Making such a big fuss is not like the master's style. Only Kuan is the most sober-minded. If the master is not prepared to kill the other party in seconds, it is categorically not going to make a move. He's definitely acting. Let's all disperse. With that, Kunkin continued to dance with Jenny Taimei. This movement of the Yuqing holy sect was all shocked. Countless disciples flew into the air. A Korean drama duo looking into the distance. Shooting real people. I was just about to lead the elders to help. Du Fu suddenly stopped them. This person is the first day of the heavenly immortal mansion. Absolute tribulation realm powerhouse. And to wait for it is to die. Shooting calmed down a little. Asked the elder if he had left any instructions. Du Fu said that Zhan Xin Taoist friends asked me to guard the sect. It's good to avoid the sect from being affected. And I'm really no match for that man. Shooting gasped. And even you're not an opponent. Wouldn't we be whiter? It's a bit of a trance to let shower out here. He used to be the first day of the heavenly immortal mansion. 5,000 years ago, the first day of pride. It's far less than the first day of today. Who would dare to believe this when it gets out? After that, Juding let all the elders disperse. He has already slashed the gods, and the elder has already struck. Let's go back to the house and continue to eat melons. If you don't know for sure, Elder God of War would definitely not make a move. Du coup surprised. You guys just trust the God of War Taoists like that. At this time, the battle in the sky is over. At this moment, Mr. G's spiritual power was covered. Han Ju's 6 spiritual powers were shattered. His chi and blood were turbulent. Blood spilled from the corners of the mouth. He stared at Han Ju deadly. The face was incredulous. Han Ju looked at his hand helplessly. After all, he still didn't have the strength. I added some wind and water spirit power to it. He couldn't catch the spiritual power of the 3, and I couldn't help it. Han Ju flashed in front of Mr. G. If you dare to show hatred this time, then just wipe it out. Reluctant to suffer from future problems. Mr. G gritted his teeth and asked, "You are Deshang Jing." He even killed the great demon cultivator who had entered the 4th layer of Deshang. How could you lose to the person in front of you? Han Ju knew that this person's heart was too strong. If you tell him I'm still on the path, I'm afraid that it will directly provoke him. Han Ju hesitated for a moment. Nod slowly, that's it. Mr. G still can't accept it. How could I possibly lose to Daesungjin? Why? Han Ju's heart was galloping with 10,000 grass and mud horses. You press a catastrophe into the 9th floor. Why can't you lose to Daesungjin? Han Ju really wanted to kill him. Guan Yu, you are the first person to defeat me. But I will beat you again. I am destined to be invincible. I was born to be a man of the gods. Han Ju hurriedly nodded. Pat Mr. G like a fool. I believe you. Your talent is truly unparalleled. The future must belong to a genius like you. Mr. G's face improved and Guan Yu had it. You're really discerning. Mr. G left with a word. I'm going to go and find a trainer. I will prove that your words are right. At this time, Han Ju also received a system question. Mr. G has a crush on you. The current opinion rating is 2 stars. Well, okay, good, it's a cheap skin. Kuan caused trouble, and the 2 sons were coming. Prepare to attack the Demon Emperor dynasty. Don't row away. Your top luck is here again. Can't wait to see the follow-up Audience Master. You can click on the link in the lower left corner to download the autumn reading. App doesn't have to wait. Watch the follow-up now. The book is picked up again. Han Ju defeated Mr. G in the Yuqing Holy Sect. Make a splash. Juding led the elders to congratulate Han Ju. Which one? Han Ju was quite displeased, but he didn't want to talk about it. That man just now had a small heart. The fact that I was defeated was weakly spread. Lost his face. It's inevitable that he will bring people to the door to seek revenge. Xiao Yao and Du Fu know very well. The style of the heavenly immortal mansion thinned their face. It's really easy to get into trouble. Joding was almost scared to death when he learned of Mr. G's identity. Direct order blockade news must not be disseminated. Du Fu asked Han Ju how quickly he had to learn. I'm afraid that person's cultivation is far below you. Han Ju shook his head. That person's strength was comparable to Deshang. We just haven't exercised our power. Hear the word Deshang. Everyone was shocked. Could it be that Elder Han, you have already achieved great strength? Han Ju shook his head and said filial piety. I am still far from Deshang, because my penance is greater than his. So Duff and Phelps is slightly better than him. In this matter, Du Fu's admiration for Hanju was even higher. I didn't expect this little Yuqing holy sect. There is such a high man. If you make good friends, maybe it's a big opportunity. And Hanju also felt a little strange. It's already winter. How could it be so hot? In a flash, another 13 years have passed. Hanju broke through to nearly 8 floors of the tribulation. Hanju opens the relationship list to view the email. I found that the idle real person had fallen. This elder of the blood extension, Heavenly Gate. At the beginning, he lurked into the Yuqing holy sect. I want to attack and kill Hanju. As a result, he was counter-killed. Later, I didn't dare to make a second time. Instead, he helped Xie Yin Tianmen surrender to the Yuqing holy sect. His death may have made Lu Immortal very sad. This is the cultivation realm. People die every day. Rolling red dust. Big waves wash the sand. Fellow Taoists, I will walk your way for you. Hanju silently raised his hands and saluted with fists in front of him. Enlightenment was quite puzzled what the master was doing. Hanju replied saying goodbye to those departed Taoists. Whoever died. Is Xing Hongxian dead? An unfamiliar person. A lot of poor people. Since you are not familiar and poor, why should you salute and say goodbye? Tell yourself that the path of cultivation is dangerous. Always be cautious. Reverence must never be lost. The Enlightenment sword was in awe. The Master's realm is really high. The Master does not know whether to talk about something or not. You say, there are 3 suns in the sky. Do you say normal? In front of the Xiantian cave mansion, the hibiscus tree is convulsing. Yang Tiandong and Sun Chang'an used their strength to eat. I can't control it. The strength was so great that he even threw Sun Chang'an into the sky. Fortunately, Hanju arrived in time to stop him. Tell me how long the tree has been shaking. Kuan was so frightened that Kuan flesh trembled. Lions say it's been a few days ago. Hanju knew that this Kuan would not tell the truth. You know how to cook chicken. Yellow stewed chicken, roasted chicken. Is the baby pheasant stewed with mushrooms? The black jade chicken was almost scared to tears. My voice was choked. What he was most afraid of was Hanju. He can only be honest. It started to shake when Fong Liang came down the mountain. It's been almost 5 years now. Hanju was furious. Xiao Kuan cub, this time you made a big disaster. Yang Tiandong started the pot to burn oil. Prepare mushroom, vermicelli, and potatoes. That's when it happened. Xing Hongxian walked over coolly. The husband is so interested. I'm going to cook it myself today. It's better to boil water and pluck your hair for you. I said why it's been so hot lately. It turned out to be you, the fat Kuan. 2 more pigs and dogs were provoked. Hanju wiped his sweat. What kind of pig fight is this? You know where the sun comes from. That's right, the sun isn't just a mythical beast. Rather, it is a top-level divine beast that feeds on dragons and phoenixes. 3-legged gold house. Hanju turned his head to look. The dress of the Sichuan fairy made his eyes shine. The fairy continued, there have been rumors since ancient times. The sun's extreme heat can destroy the world. Bury the entire era. Its cataclysm is known as the 3-day volley. Hanjili gave a thumbs up to Fairy Sichuan. I didn't expect the master to be a 3rd-level fan. Starry Sky Xian was puzzled. Now in addition to making the daylight brighter, the temperature between heaven and earth is not exaggerated. Hanju silently looked at the scenery in front of him. Isn't that exaggerated enough, Zhu? No finch can go down to earth. It shows that it is difficult for Mister to go down to earth. Neither can the Golden House. Maybe that's exactly what happened. The Golden House was cut off from the mortal realm. But this goes on. Sooner or later, it will lead to catastrophe. I heard that the Gold House can't come down. Asked dizzily. Isn't that so you don't have to take my stewed buns? Hanju threw the black jade chicken onto the fusang tree. Scare him and say if you take another step down, I'll break your chicken wings and grill them first. Xing Hongxian and Fairy Shishuan hurriedly played around. Kuan Kuan is still a child. What bad eyes can he have? That's when it happened. Jioding Jinren found Elder Hanju. Chicken-stewed mushrooms are not in a hurry to eat. There is something big about the sect. Please make a decision. Tianxia Mansion and other holy places. Call on the righteous way of the world to gather. Let's go. Destroy the devil's path. Imperial dynasty. The surrounding righteous sects are ready to go. At this moment, the messenger was waiting in the main hall. We don't dare to call the shots. Please give me an idea. Han Jun didn't expect it. It's time to get to the clans so soon. Shishuan Fairy analysis. It should be due to the intention of these 3 days of volleys. Outside, I thought it was the devil's doing. So the forces on all sides are agitated. Hanju said, this heavenly immortal mansion should be eyeing the Yuqing sect. If we don't fight as a team, I'm afraid it's going to be seen as a demon. Then go for it. Lao Fan preached. In-person representation. After all, the Yuqing holy sect was not strong enough. 10,000 retouches are enough. By the way, bring the blood to extend the heavenly gate. Let them take revenge. I am in charge of the Yuqing holy sect. You can rest assured. Jioding Jinren hugged his fist and immediately went back to pass the order. At this time, the Shishuan Fairy opened his mouth. I'll go along. I am the core elder. Is a madman with 18 seals in Yuqing. Bound. Xing Hongxian is not to be outdone, and I will marry my weak husband. I am the master mother of the immortal mountain. I am also responsible. I was stunned. What kind of moth do you two women have? Su Qi and the demon Emperor Ji were torn. The face of the chaotic Tengu is to save the same door and train by example. Don't take away your top luck. For copyright reasons. This work has been officially renamed from today. Luck Hanju. Friends who like this novel, you can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Chiu reading app. Search for Luck Hanju. I see the hand in one breath. The book is picked up again. Hanju led Jioding. A real person leads a team to participate in the conquest of the demon cult. I don't know. Shishuan Fairy and Xing Hongxian also had to participate. Although the Shishuan Fairy has an unshirkable responsibility as an elder. But Hanju didn't want his master to take risks. But no matter how you persuade this woman, she is hard-hearted. Xing Hongxian has also encountered difficulties with the demon sect several times. I swore that this time I would give the task of destroying demons. Hanju sighed helplessly. Since you two have to put your lives at risk, then take this with you. I've upgraded your heavenly golem. This time it's in the real sense. A puppet of the heavens in its full form. Not only is it sturdy and durable, but it also has a red and silver gun. It's just that there is no time for the limit and the spray extinction period. The Shishuan Fairy is unknown. Only Xing Hongxian scolded and scolded. You're not new to this look. Leaving Hanju's housewife. Jioding Jinren should take care of his truth and affairs. Jioding Jinren secretly reassured Hanju. Your woman guarantees that not a single hair will be missing. Looking at the backs of the 3 of them leaving. Kuan Feng Ying's flattery to Hanju's master. What can you do if our Yuqing sect is gone? Hanju coldly told him to get out. From now on, you are not allowed to go fishing. Honestly, squatting on a tree to do Kuan was shot to death. Can only sit on the tree and die. Hanyu prayed secretly. I hope that Jioding Jinren and others will not have an accident. There is a Tianxian mansion to lead the team. Jinaihe should be over this time. At this time, in the hinterland of the demon cult, Jinaihe was looking at the person in front of him coldly. Suki. I've been suspicious of you for a long time. Over the past 60 years, more than 5,000 elites have died inexplicably. Even lost to Deshang Jinxiang. Again and again, invasion plans were shelved. After so many years of investigation, the evidence is all pointing to you. Why did you betray me? Quickly recruit from the real thing. Is it the demon lord's intention? The Chaos Tengu looked at Suki with a complicated look in his eyes. I was struggling. He didn't know whether to save Suki or not. But even if he makes a move, he can't change the ending. He couldn't be the Demon Emperor's opponent. Your Majesty must have been forced by the Demon Lord to force Suki. There is no way he can betray you. It has nothing to do with the Demon Lord. I am the righteous way. It is impossible to be in the company of demons. Suki said in a deep voice. The aura is brazen and fearless. The master will definitely come to my rescue. Suki is convinced of this. I can't help but squint. There was sand overflowing in his eyes. He Chun Shung ordered to go to the Tengu and Yuan to eat him. Hearing this, the Chaos Tengu was shocked. The host, I've been a vegetarian for a long time. Kina and Evil look at the Tengu. There is only one of the two of you to live today. The Chaos Tengu looked at Suki. Suki also looked at him calmly. Su Chi shook her head helplessly. Tengu didn't want to make a move on his fellow doormen either. They knew each other decades ago. Suki didn't recognize the dog at that time, and the dog had already recognized Suki. After all, the dog's appearance has changed too much over the years. Su Chi didn't dare to recognize him rashly. The dog swore by Kunkin's life categorically. He is definitely Hanju's most genuine demon pet. Suki said that the master's expression. Outsiders certainly don't know. The dog instantly understood. You're not talking about this expression. Suki clapped her hands and exclaimed, yes, yes. You're acting too similar. Definitely their own people. The two counted the sadness of wandering outside these years. Show your heart to each other. If you have the opportunity, you must make memories together. Even if you die, you have to fall back to your roots. The more Chaos Tengu thought about it, the more aggrieved he became. The anger in my heart was ignited. What are you waiting for? Jinai's impatient, he Dao, instead of being full of dissatisfaction. The paws of the Chaos Tengu creaked. Raise the dog's head and look up to the sky and howl Suki. You go back and tell the master. I'm not intimidated by the Chaos Tengu. If there is an afterlife. I stayed by his side. Tengu jerked around and pounced on Kinai. Scolded and said, this king is fighting with you. Jinai, he sneered, touching. There are also people who do not understand that only by giving in can we survive. For a moment, it was too late for Suki to stop her. The dog's paws are already towards Ji-Na and the beat. After a bang, there was an explosion. The dog was blasted out. Blood spills in the sky. I already knew that your master's name was Hanju. When you were resurrected, I read your memory. I had a gut feeling that he was going to stop my geese. I am disappointed by your stupidity. Soon I will send Hanju down to see you. Looking at the dog who doesn't know if it's dead or alive. Suki went from shock to rage. His eyes were engulfed in rage. A strange black gas appeared all around him. All of them got into his body. Jinai, he was secretly frightened. Could this force be at this moment? An arrogant laugh came from the Demon Emperor. Finally, let me find you. Yusti, Dacheng. The Luo Ball demon who has entered the 4th floor is not my opponent. And you're just a scumbag. Skill is difficult and self-conscious. You are the sacrifice to the gods. That's right, you can die if you know my name. Hanju is enshrined in the long river of Kendo. Find out the origin of the Gold House. The dispute between the two realms of good and evil is about to heat up. Don't take away your top-notch charm again. Can't wait to see the follow-up, friends. You can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Chiu reading app. Search for Chi Yun Hanju. Wonderful follow-up to See Cool in one breath. Since there were 2 more suns in the sky, Hanju has been worrying about Kunkin wiping his ass. And Fei Kuan is also obedient a lot. I never dared to go down and down from the Fuso tree again. Take a step. Now that Kiroheim has relived in the Fuso tree. Why the 2 golden houses still refuse to leave. It is easy to please God, but it is difficult to send God. Hanju suddenly had a bold idea. It's better to take the opportunity to enlighten. Go to the big guy and ask. Hanju's housewife disciple don't come near him. He wants to come to his senses. A month later, somewhere on a battlefield where the demons are fighting, suddenly there was a natural noise. The sword cultivation of the two realms of righteousness and demons. The weapons in their hands flew away one after another. Flying in a certain direction, the battlefield was instantly full of flags. It's really a good time to see this Eons of Time. How can this battle be fought without weapons? It is mostly repaired in the modification. This coke is bad for the demon cultivators. Strangely shaped weapons in their hands. This moment comes in handy. However, the righteous path has been prepared for a long time. After all, I've suffered this loss before. They all took out their red guns. Submachine gun sword of the world. They all flew in the direction of the immortal mountain of ascetic cultivation. Hanju is also familiar with the way to come to the long river of Kendo. It's like going back to your parents' house. He went straight ahead. Soon I saw the predecessors of the battle Lone Star. Jean Lone Star ignored Hanju. After all, this time it came too often. Hanju broke the silence. Happily asked the senior. It can be known that the star chi of Jinwu Zhonggong does not come in one place. You have an epiphany. I saw it just to ask me about Kanaya. Hanju naturally can't say that you guessed right. Can only be mixed into their own, beloved to see. This time it was a fluke epiphany. By the way, ask the seniors. Zhang Gongxing indicates that the Golden House is an ancient divine beast. Can be transformed into the sun. The Golden House is divided into the Vanjin House and the Nerve House. The Golden House is the Sun Warrior of the mortal world. Not allowed to leave. The mortal cultivation that he is in charge of cannot grow. The Nerve House is one of the gods of the fairy world. Strong heritage. Even if it is the heavenly court divine father. The demon prince did not dare to provoke easily. Hearing his words, Hanju's heart sank. Since Fan Jinwu can't leave. Other words, the two stars in the sky, the sun, are most likely nerve houses. Hanju continued to ask, can the nerve house enter the mortal world? Naturally it can't. The true fire of the sun in their bodies is enough to destroy the mortal world. The turtle flame made them forbidden to descend to earth. Lone Star seemed to think of something. Pinch your fingers and count them immediately. The mouth of the Nannan province, nervous fowl family. Recently, there has been a lot of strife. If that's the case, it's a big deal. After seeing the image of the mortal world, Zhang Lone Star cursed. How can there be two nerves above your mortal realm? Although it is a young nerve stain, Hanju asked, is the young nerve filthy strong? The husband replied in his heart that it was not strong. Not long after they were born, they became fully cultivated. I am also proud that this time it is Hanju's turn to swear. Just after birth, he became a great cultivator. Hanju felt insulted. Why didn't the Neuroiches teach them? If they come to our mortal realm, that's a bad thing for us mortals. Hanju complained. The husband replied in his heart, who knows? It's none of my business. My duty is to see it with my hands. Nothing else concerns me. I didn't see anything. Don't expect Wu to help you. Hanju was silent. Sure enough, if you fall behind, you can only be beaten. It's better to rely on no one than on yourself. You have to hurry up and get to the 9th floor. Lest you get 10, and even 2 little cooing cubs can't beat them. After the 3rd series, he rounded the battle Lone Star and continued to move forward. It's coming. You have to try to be stronger. Like last time, Hanju took 6 steps. A sword chi was cultivated from pain. The fairy mountain rises to the sky. Xinhuang sword chi was also officially promoted to Tai divine power. Hanju continued to cultivate. The next small target is nearly 9 floors. Somewhere in a dark cave. Blood demon ancestor. White-haired mushrooms. The greedy demon Arhat and the demon monarch Xian Qin Jun sat together. Wuzuan fell one. It makes their atmosphere very gloomy. The blood demon ancestor said that the demon emperor's recovery speed was getting slower and slower, and it is often reflexed by the demonic energy in the body. 1. He saw that the demon emperor was affected by some external factors. Wei Wuxin supported him like this. Now, it doesn't seem like a good deal. Greedy Arhut Chen Xingdao. I didn't expect the heavenly immortal mansion to be so coincidental. Several immortal gods have surpassed the scope of Tianjiao. Even if we waited for him to be one-on-one, it is not necessarily its opponent. The blood demon ancestor looked at the Qin monarch demon monarch. You can be sure of dealing with Qi Xianxin. Xian Qinjun said with a blank face, there are roommates. But they told me to be neutral. After all, Deshang's attack on the 8th floor can destroy the world. I can't act rashly until they make a move. The blood demon ancestor didn't want to wait any longer. It must be before Mr. G grows up. Kill him. Greedy Arhut and white-haired mushrooms. Persuade the ancestor to hurry up. After all, among the 4 of them, except for the demon lord, ancestor is the strongest. And the ancestor naturally didn't want to come out. The heavenly immortal mansion is not so easy to mess with. The demon lord said lightly. Su Xianxin can't afford to look like it for the time being. But the 2 golden crows in the sky. Is this a portent? The 4 demon Dao venerables were silent for a while. The white-haired mushroom opened his mouth tremblingly. Our demon cultivators have never been favored by the heavenly Dao. You said that this time it would be the heavenly Dao that was going to make a move. The sword demon ancestor let the demon lord hurry up and inquire into the underworld. If it's really the way of heaven, it's going to intervene. A few of them are just right, too. Get out of here. The demon lord replied with a good word. With that, he opened the portal to the underworld. In an instant, countless demonic chi tore open a spatial rift. The demon lord said that I had been gone for decades. Can you all stabilize the situation? The single man reassured him. The demon lord said lightly. And he went to the underworld without looking back. After the demon lord is gone, the blood demon ancestor remembered the great ceremony. It is not necessary to prepare a gray hair mask. Whether the demon Dao can be unified depends on this canon. Another 11 years have passed. On this day, Hanju received a system offer. It shows that you are over 600 years old. One step forward in life. You have the following options to exit immediately. Slay demons and demons. Famous all over the world. You can get a sword spirit treasure too to continue your cultivation. Stay away from the world. Sprint to completion. You can get a sword spirit treasure and a bottle of random ammo. Hanju didn't say a word. Just select the second option. Congratulations on obtaining the Tai Spirit Treasure Giant Spirit Bracer. Congratulations. Obtain a bottle of Deshang Soul Nyin Dan Jin Spirit Bracer. Tai 5 products. It can absorb the aura of heaven and earth. Increase your physical strength in battle. Deshang Soul Alchemy. Deshang training is an elixir used to strengthen the soul. It's Tai Ling Bao again. Not bad, not bad. Hanju's mood was suddenly happy. Deshang's soul alchemy, he can't use it for the time being. At this time, he had already crossed the nearly 9th layer of the great perfection. He pulls up the relationship and checks the email. I haven't swiped the circle of friends for more than 10 years. Your friend Huang Ji number. 67,823 attacks by demon cultivators. Your god pet, the Chaos Tengu, has been attacked by a demon cultivator. Deeply injured. Personality is powerful to save each other. Your apprentice Suki has gone mad. The power of the divine pavilion is uncontrollable. Thousands of miles of life suffer from bad luck. Your disciple son Fangliang has been attacked 12,004 times by demon cultivators. Your friends are a few immortals. Attacked 110,982 times by demon cultivators. Your Dao Lu Xianqin Jun left the world. Your friend Mo Cha entered the Forbidden Ancients. Names of life and death. Your disciple's son Fang Liang suffered from the demon cultivator and gave up his luck. Transmagic cultivation greatly strengthens one's soul. Your friend, Juding Real Person, attacked 9,877 times by demon cultivators. Hanju frowned. The cultivation ring is getting more and more chaotic. Hanju and the disciples were contaminated with beast luck, broke through one after another, and escaped the catastrophe. Discover the secret of enlightenment. Don't take away your top luck. Friends who can't wait can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Chio reading app. Search for Luck Hanju. Wonderful follow-up to See Cool in one breath. The book was picked up and Hanju looked at Peng. The circle of friends sighed that the magic path was so tenacious. Obviously, the number of demon cultivators is not as good as 30% of the righteous path. This battle between good and evil lasted for decades. It could even last for hundreds of years. Where did the endless stream of demon cultivation come from? Thankfully, he wasn't involved. If you have kung fu fighting, it is better to practice well. Hanju shifted his attention to cultivating into an immortal mountain. The two golden houses in the sky are still there. It's really persistent. Hanju began to check on the other people's cultivation. Yang Tiandong. Hisun Chang'an has reached the 9th floor of Yuanying Path. The Dao Sword also reached the 7th layer of the Yuanying Path. Kunkan eats, sleeps, and eats wild every day. Arrived at the 7th floor of Rong Sujing. Hanju Zi's two voices have a princess fight. It's better to cultivate like my humble disciples. Fang Liang's matter had already reached the 9th layer of Yuanying Jing. He is worthy of being the son of heaven and earth. It's been a short time to catch up with Suki's kid. When a little longer, the strongest Japanese gate must be the square beam. Somewhere in a cave at this time, Fang Liang has already begun to cross the catastrophe. The heavenly Tao naturally did not make the son of heaven and earth uncomfortable. This thunderstorm smashed on the body. It's as refreshing as a spring breeze, with the last few heavenly thunders pretending to be split. There was a golden lotus of luck in the sky. Hanju looked at Fang Liang's avatar. Progress from Yuan Ying to God. I couldn't help but spit out. Say a breakthrough is a breakthrough operation. It was the first time he had seen him. Hanju turned around and skimmed into the fortune golden lotus. This luck golden lotus has already floated all over the mountain of ascetic cultivation into immortals. I'm afraid it's already floating all over the cultivation realm. The cards of the children of heaven and earth are really big enough. Universally, have enjoyed the benefits brought by the breakthrough of the square beam. This golden lotus is full of European spirit. It has great implications for cultivation, especially at critical moments when it is time to break through. Looking for Chang'an and Yang Tiandong. Also borrowed the European spirit of the golden lotus. Both broke through the divine realm. However, a breakthrough means a catastrophe. The power of the two of them to cross the catastrophe together is terrifying. I'm afraid that I can't bear it if I cultivate into an immortal mountain. Hanju was thinking about separating the two. Teleport to the demon realm. Otherwise, the power of Lei Jie, who merged with the two, would not be able to bear it. However, Hanju didn't notice it. I was also contaminated by the luck golden lotus. A golden lotus fell quietly. The pointed head made Hanju's spiritual power overflow. At this moment, it completely exploded. He only felt the spiritual power surging in his body. It was intended to be consolidated for a while. At this moment, it has to break through. There were already those two people who wanted to break through. At this time, he himself is not only an immortal. The yam was razed to the ground. I'm afraid that the entire Yuqing sect will be wiped out. I don't know that this is the right time. Hanju was suddenly teleported to a void. Hanju muttered to himself suspiciously. Was told by the system that this was the heavenly tribulation space. It is specially prepared for those who break through the Deshang realm. Hanju scolded again. I didn't expect Deshang Jin to have such treatment. That's fine. The world will not be ruined by my breakthrough. Not raw. Now I only hope that Chang'an and Yang Tiandong will know. Rules. Just hurry up and go to the 10,000 demon realm to cross the tribulation. Hanju was just ready to survive the catastrophe with peace of mind. But I was told by the system again, if you cross the calamity. There are also people within the range who meet the conditions for the tribulation. They will also come to this space together to survive together. After that, Hanju saw his two stupid apprentices. Hanju was stupid. The two of them were stupid and didn't die out together. But he had to form a group to die in the space. If the power of the triumph is stacked, I'm afraid no one will get out alive. Said that the stones in the stone, and the three raised their eyes to look at the sky. Swift clouds of terror are surging. I can't leave at the moment. At this time, a powerful thunderbolt slashed towards the clouds. Wiped that dark cloud away in an instant. Yang Tiandong and Sun Chang'an thought they had escaped. Only Hanju has a bad mind. It was the two of them who were erased just now. And Faisanjian is indeed his own masterpiece. Tianlei treats. A kilometer-wide volley of heavenly thunder descended into the air. Immediately after that, countless such heavenly thunders followed. This tribulation space looks like an endless void. And at this moment, the three of them didn't even have a place to hide. Hanju is dressed in Tai Lingbao. The Taoist priest can still resist. But his two disciples couldn't resist being so strong. Yang Tiandong said, I had seen the group Lei Jie in the book, and the author can write about this experience. Definitely survived. That solution is to quickly hold your head and squat down. Hanju scolded for the third time. Countless stout thunderbolts slashed down one after another. It seems to have eyes. None of them hit the three of them. In this way, the three of them survived 3 months in Rijie. Master, what are you doing? The Enlightenment sword suddenly appeared behind Hanju and asked, Don't bother me if I didn't see us in the apocalypse. The three of them woke up suddenly. Why would he look up at the three of them? Not only has he returned to the immortal mountain of penance, even Xiao Wei has been promoted. Han despaired of the 3 suns in the sky. It's certainly the present world. Why did this catastrophe pass like this? Enlightenment sword. He pointed to the purple stone that was placed behind Hanju. After the master gave him to me, my cultivation has indeed improved a little faster, but it's not much use. So I thought I'd bring it to my master. Drop the stone and go fishing. Hanju looked at the enlightenment stone and suddenly reacted. Isn't the role of this stone for enlightenment? Rather, it is used to avoid robbery. This stone can help the gods to stay on earth. It is not restricted by the rules of the heavenly Tao. Now he can still avoid the catastrophe. Doesn't it have the effect of blinding the way of heaven? Deshang is the highest cultivation that the world can carry. After reaching the 9th level of Dzogchen, will be forcibly expelled from the mortal world and ascend. Now there's this thing. Then I can hide from the sky. The forced ascension of the word. You can stay on earth forever. Arching Hanju to break through Deshang into the luxury car. Seeing the long river walking around. It is no longer immortal. Don't row away. Your top luck is here again. Can't wait, friends. You can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Chiu reading app. Search for the top name in the comment area and follow up wonderfully. It's cool to see at a breath. The book is picked up again. Hanju used the purple stone to successfully achieve a shortcut to promotion. He began to consolidate his cultivation according to the maneuver. At the same time, the system also gives promotion rewards. Congratulations on your breakthrough to the great completion realm. You have the following options. Immediately ascend from the mortal dust. Obtain a divine power inheritance. A piece of heavenly Tao, temporary sword spirit treasure. 2. Continue to practice the ascension of Zambu. You can get a sword spirit treasure. Hanju saw the hint in front of him. not by the eyebrows of the dog system. You are tempting me to ascend. Duan couldn't have followed me for so long. You should know my character. There is no cultivation of Tai Tishin. It's impossible for me to go up and die. After all, there are already several enemies above me. Dig deep holes and wide backbones. I will continue to live in the world. Hanju directly chose the second option. You choose to continue cultivating. Don't ascend for the time being to get a sword spirit treasure. Congratulations on obtaining the Tai spirit treasure. Huanglong Qiyun teaches Huanglong Qiyun to teach Tai Erpenling. Riding the magic weapon, it can withstand the full force of the umbrella immortal. Hanju's eyes lit up. This perfect gold lacquer finish. This sturdy off-road tire. It can also withstand the full force of the umbrella fairy. The quality of domestic cars has completely improved. Hanju was not carried away by the joy of the new car. He immediately started the mock trial. This time, he didn't have the cultivation of the Xianqin army. Direct confrontation with the great strength that unleashes all its strength. The 8-story Xianqin army quickly struck. Use a trick that I don't know what it's called. I saw countless heroic souls coming towards Hanju. Hanju's fingers moved slightly. Use the heaven and earth to break the yellow. The sword is pointed. The sword chi swept through the dead grain. Instantly killed Xian Qinjun. Hanyu Vuskot. The dust on the car suddenly increased. Now, there shouldn't be many people in the mortal world who can kill him. But that's not enough. Hanju intends to visit the heavens and the earth again. Xianhuang broke the ring and pointed at the sword. After breaking through to the Dashang realm, he should be able to raise the line of this supernatural ability again. Hanju turned around and got into the car. I'm going to meet the long river Lilala. Racing at high speed, Hanju soon saw Zhang Guxing. Battle Lone Star was annoyed. Angrily scolded. Why are you here again? Is it interesting to repeatedly improve the same supernatural power? Can't you cultivate well and enhance your cultivation? Some people even said that he was not good at cultivating. Hanju is not happy about this. There was no one in the mortal world who was more passionate about penance than he was. Jean Lone Star was stunned. Look at you. You've already achieved great results. It's only been a few years. This son is not only very talented. Even the cultivation talent is so terrifying. Jean Lone Star couldn't help but re-examine Hanju. Zhang Guxing then turned to look at his back. I don't know why. Zhang Guxing felt that Hanju was different from the past. He no longer seems to be immortal. Meanwhile, on top of a cliff outside a cave, one person is holding a bamboo flute and playing leisurely. That figure was a few immortals. In the big pot in the cave, Kriss Cream was simmering. Chaos Tengu said with a sad face, will he really be able to recover his senses from his madness? A few immortals and gods arrived at the sentence and were relieved. This son went crazy. It's just because I can't control the power in my body. He was born as extraordinary as I was. Contains a powerful power that transcends all beings. Under the secret medicine of our heavenly, immortal mansion. It won't be long. He will be able to regain his own power. And our heavenly immortal mansion not only has first-class ability in refining medicine. Even making soup is a must. Chaos Tengu pointed to the uncle behind him. I could smell the aroma of stew. The first god scolded angrily for a stupid dog. It needs to be simmered over low heat. Who told you to collect the juice on a high fire? That's when it happened. Mr. G felt the cicada of the sword. He looked up at the purple glow in the sky. That's where the big smoke is. See you through the ages. Could it be that the person's sight broke through the front again? I can't beat him. Is it not as good as him when he sees me? A few immortals were extremely unhappy. Suddenly got up. Chaos Tengu hurriedly asked the senior where he planned to go. The immortal gods said coldly, I'm going to paint a demon sect. After the gods left, the Chaos Tengu looked back at Suki. Do you want to leave with him on your back? Chaos Tengu thought hesitantly. although a few immortals saved them. But he always felt that the immortals had their own purposes. I really want to go back to the wild geese. But if you leave like this, will it annoy a few immortals? Although the master has killed the Qing Mang great sage, Shui may have reached the realm of tribulation. But the 7 immortal gods killed the existence of Dai Qingjing. The dog didn't want him to trouble his master. The chaos Tengu sighed in his heart. Can't trouble the owner anymore. Let's wait until Suki recovers. A few immortals walked on the way down the mountain. While depressed, while sighing that my few immortals should be the first in the world. And you, Guan Yu, only deserve to be a stepping stone for me. In troubled times, I am the ultimate in the world. In a peaceful and prosperous world, I will become an immortal. That's when it happened. Following the discovery of the first god, a tornado swept in. Naturally, he didn't take this intention to heart. There were countless sharks swimming in that tornado. But why are there sharks in tornadoes? The Righteous Path Coalition invaded the demon Dao dynasty. How do you know that the demon is high enough to lead to the annihilation of the whole army? Don't take away your top luck. First of all, I wish the fans a smooth final exam. Can't wait, friends. You can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Chiu reading app. Search for the top name in the comment section. It is said that it is wonderful to see it in one breath in the follow-up. The last time the book was picked up, it was at the same time as Hanju was in retreat and penance. If nothing else, his unlucky fellow is going to be unlucky again. Now, many of the decorators were imprisoned in a large hall. The various states are sluggish. The hall is grand and oppressive. Tens of thousands of old acquaintances sat in the corner. Hair is messy and extremely messy. This is a burly figure appearing. The deity has given you 3 days. At that time, the demon camp ceremony will begin. Those who are not willing to submit will be sacrificed. It was the greedy Arhut who spoke. The yellow flag is embarrassed. But the Tao heart is very firm. Replied coldly, I was righteous. Never go along with the rats. The embellishments were also congratulated. It means that he will wait for the Righteous Path Alliance to kill. Look how rampant you are. Massage Arhut he smiled. Are you talking about them? With a wave of his big hand, he arrived. Black mist instantly filled the hall. But the black fog lifted. The golden trumpet and the crowd couldn't help but be surprised. The first thing he saw was Elder Guan. There is also the same bundled revealed Juding real person. 7 Xian fairies and Xing Hongxian and other elders of the Yuqing sect. The large army was temporarily stationed outside the Demon Emperor Imperial City. The elite is led by Jioding Jinren and the elders. Enter the city first. This is the Demon Dao Imperial City. It looks so run down. It is said that the demon cultivator goes crazy from time to time. The demon emperor was too lazy to build a city. However, inside the huge imperial city, not even a single demon cultivator could see it. Everyone felt very weird. Juding real guess. Maybe the demon cultivator was pinned down by friendly forces. But the Sichuan fairy is strange. Other righteous sects who entered the city first. I can't see anyone. How could tens of thousands of righteous path elites all disappear? Xing Hongxian also felt that something was wrong. Even if you want to split up, you will signal first. Lu Immortal Root whispered beside Jioding Jinren. Have you noticed another strange thing? Jioding replied and asked if it was appropriate. We have come this way, and it seems that the demon cultivators can't finish killing. The number of secret demon cultivators. It can't be more righteous than we are. But decades after the Great War, there are still demonic cultivators everywhere. Other than that, our righteous grooming figure seems to be decreasing. Jioding Jinren's face changed. You mean that there are constantly mutinies? Lu Bing's face was solemn. I suspect that the demon Dao has a power in letting the righteous path embellish and fall into the devil's path. We've met a lot of demonic cultivators who have gone mad. However, The breath on them seemed familiar. Jioding Jinren's heart trembled. At this moment, he couldn't keep his composure at all. Because Lu Immortal is right. The world is willing to fall into the modification of the devil's path. It's surgery after all. However, this battle between the good and the devil, which has lasted for 100 years, has been fought until now. On the contrary, there are more and more demon cultivators. This can only tell one thing. That is, these demon cultivators used to be their own people. Jioding real people seem to understand something. Immediately turn around and order everyone to retreat with me. At this moment, there was a loud rumbling sound in the sky. A figure slammed down from the rolling clouds, smashed directly where everyone was. The impact was as great as if a fire had fallen from the sky. The dust cleared. A burly figure trampled Jioding real people under your feet. Jioding asked the people of Yukimen to flee quickly. Sichuan Fairy and other elders protect the Dharma. Open the way for the doorman. Unexpectedly, the greedy Arhat slowly folded his hands. Ba, where do you want to go? Since it's here, let's go into the enchantment together. After that, an overwhelming big hand grabbed everyone. But no one had the strength to escape. Now, the elites of the righteous path are all trapped in this hall. Although there are many disciples of the various sects of the righteous path outside. But he didn't have the strength to compete with the Changjin. That's when it happened. As the greedy Arhat's fingers moved, a righteous path disciple flew into the air. It was twisted into a twist in an instant. The greedy Arhat looked at everyone coldly. This is what happens to you if you don't want to be submitted. Wait, I'm willing to become a demon cultivator. Trembling slightly, he stood up. There are a lot of touches around. Cast an angry glance at him. Huang Jiehao is carrying his hands at the moment. But to kill the traitors. I saw him step on both feet, straight to the fat man. He wanted to stab the traitor to death with a crown on his head. A squander of demonic energy sent the yellow banner flying. The greedy Arhat protected the traitor. It is very good to know the current affairs for Junjie. Now it's up to you to take care of them. After that, the greedy demon Arhat's fingers moved. It was until the black chi instantly burrowed into the fat man's body. With the fat man howling in pain, everyone was shocked. Not much more than a fat man entered the demon's body. The surging power made him feel so comfortable. He released a slight pressure in an instant. Tell everyone present to surrender quickly. Enjoy the feast of this demonic energy. That's all. Many people who reached the top of the new step at the scene immediately defected. Means that you want to jump with the demon emperor. Individual disciples of the Yuqing holy sect. He also began to get restless. Jioding Jinren Qin Xingdao is a disciple of my Yuqing holy sect. Can only die with dignity. Do not give in to the devil. Whoever dares to be sentenced to join the sect, to join the demon cultivator. Don't blame the god of war elder for cleaning up the portal afterwards. Hearing this, the traitor of Xangu promised each other. Otherwise, it seems that there is hope. That's right, the god of war elder hasn't made a move yet. Hopefully, things will turn around. The disciples began to express their determination again. However, Xing Hongxian sighed. The situation is unlikely to help them at the moment. It is impossible for him to cross mountains and seas in a short time. To know, it took decades for them to get here. Xing Hongxian secretly heard her husband. If there is a fate, we will be husband and wife again in the next life. On the other side, in the innate cave mansion, Hanju once again entered the long river of Kendo. This time, he crossed Tai. I took a full 20 steps forward. The trapped righteous path modification is not yet known. The ultimate move that can save them is coming. The Yuqing holy sect is in trouble. Hanju was ready to come to the rescue. Before the war, he once again talked about the breakthrough of the resident disciples. Don't take away your top luck. Can't wait to see the follow-up friends. You can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Chiu reading app. Search for keywords at the top of the comment section. Wonderful follow-up to see in one breath. Cool book pickup. Hanju walked 20 steps in the long river of Kendo. The heaven and the earth will be yellow. The broken ring sword finger has been taken to the next level. This supernatural power can break the ring and set it far away. Similar to teleportation space jumps. As long as the gods can catch each other. To achieve long-range shooting. Hanju was very satisfied. Now no matter how far or near it is. Heaven and earth Xin Huang broke the ring, and the sword fingers were infinitely lethal. He believed that few people in the mortal world could bear it. Hanju, this is to click on the circle of friends. Only to find out Xing Hongshuan's message. In the state of the circle of friends, many Taoist friends are trapped by demon cultivation. Hanju frowned without frowning. How can you clear the holy sect? This will be taken care of. They obviously have the puppets of heaven by their side. No matter how useless it was caught. Anhui. Immediately connect the consciousness with Xing Hongshuan's puppet. Found the puppet trapped in a warmth. Gloomy environment. When I looked up, I saw a gap shining through. Hanju immediately understood where this was. After all, Xing Hongxian. I love to put weird things here. The puppet suddenly poked out. Xing Hongxian under his head jumped. The screams caught the attention of the boothman. I saw Fairy Xishuan, carrying her hands on her back, is being interrogated by Lu Fatsi, who defected before. Hanju asked Xing Hongxian not to make a noise. Just pass it to the puppet. Xing Hongxian said that they were arrested by the greedy Arhut. The 4 Demon Dao Masters are grabbing them on a large scale. Righteous path modification. Most of the groomed touches that are caught are seduced into the devil. And those of us who were sworn to die. It was sacrificed at the demon camp ceremony. And that demon emperor seems to have a deeper secret. He may be summoning a more powerful adversary. Descending to earth. Hanju told Xing Hongxian not to worry. When the time comes, he will come to the rescue. Xing Hongxian shook his head helplessly. On the right path. Several of the crossing mirror decorations have been damaged. The strength of this puppet is far inferior to the 4 inner demon realms. This time we planted it completely. Let's be husband and wife again in the next life. Hanju told him not to be discouraged. Didn't the heavenly immortal mansion make a move? Xing Hongxian shook his head again. Maybe the heavenly immortal mansion will be difficult to parry. Hanju fell in a thought. It seems that the demon Dao has gained the upper hand. He calmed Xing Hongxian a few words. Let him hold the puppet and contact him at any time. There is also the great book of obscenity. It's okay to summon the elder demons. Now I have to do it. Wait for the demons to come. Then the world will not be at peace. Hanju raised his right hand. Raise your middle finger, and it's up to you. The Enlightenment Sword saw Hanju raise his middle finger. Some doubts about the master. Your gesture is quite chic. It's the 7 supernatural powers of the hand of God, isn't it? Hanju said that this magic power could not be used easily. Unless it's a mortal game. So what does that do? Korean dramas ignore him anymore. It's just that it can make you feel more comfortable before you die. Since he was punished, he was not allowed to come down from the Fuso tree. Black Yuji lives like a year, as if she is in prison. Suddenly, a familiar voice came from under the tree. It turned out that Murong stood up and came back. Hanju asked Murong Chi, "What did you gain from this outing?" Murong Chi prophesied and pointed to the anxious face of the ancestor. "Can I ask you for advice? Which one is the strongest in the world? Is it seeing?" Hanju told him that there was no strongest island. Only the strongest cultivators. Murong Chi nodded. I felt as if I wasn't fit to see me lately. He was often out on missions. He found his combat effectiveness somewhat mediocre. I thought that my talent was not good, so I subsidized it with diligence. As a result, I worked hard for so long, but I didn't make much progress. Hanju asked quietly, "Since seeing is not for you, so why not look elsewhere?" Murong Chi was shocked. I didn't expect Hanju to allow him to change his route. Hanju asked Murong Chi what Dao he thought was more suitable. Murong-chi felt that the weapon that was suitable for him knew that it was a gun. Or rather, the long soldiers. However, cultivators rarely use long soldiers. Long soldiers are more suitable for mortal conquest. Murong-chi said that he was going to take it to Hanju and cut it. Hanju was not surprised by this. It is worthy of being a god of war. It is true that the gods of war mostly use long soldiers, whether mythical or mortal. At this time, I saw a golden light flashing on Hanju's fingertips. As a teacher, you can calculate your natal gun as soon as possible. The branches of the hibiscus tree have long been used. I made you a propylene gun. I taught him the Longinus Schwanji bladed gun. The disciples instantly dropped their jaws in shock. The Fusang tree can be described as Hanju, the most precious genius treasure. It even attracts two sons. Now for the sake of the grandson. Hanju actually broke the Fusang tree. This is a treatment that no one else has ever experienced. Which Murong-chi also took out his so-called gun. Slip. I'm talking about the right gun for me is this AK-47. Hanju was very embarrassed. Murong-chi had no choice but to accept the kindness of his ancestor. However, his favorability towards Hanju was also instantaneous. Upgraded to 5 stars. That's when it happened. Hanju spoke again about the battle of the demons. Our righteous path has fallen into disadvantage. Today, the teacher is ready to help. I would like to take this opportunity to preach to you. Can you comprehend your own magical powers? Or the Tao? It is up to you to make it to yourself. The minister said. Hanju answered questions for his disciples. The demon emperor is about to receive a boxed lunch. Don't take away your top luck. Can't wait to see the follow-up audience master. You can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Chio reading app. Search for the top keyword in the comment area and follow up wonderfully. It's enjoyable to see in one breath. The book was followed by an order from the greedy Arhut. The sacrificial ceremony of the demon camp ceremony officially began. The demon cultivators did what the greedy Arhut wanted. Begin escorting the righteous path modifier to the altar. The righteous path modifiers cursed that the demon cultivators could not die well. Many people were directly trampled to death by the renegade Lu Fatsi. Suddenly, Fat Lu screamed, "I only feel the chrysanthemum hot." It turned out that Huang Jihao took the lead. With that unique headdress, he gave him a chrysanthemum remnant. The modifiers were escorted to the altar one after another. Xing Hongxian sighed softly again. Let's be husband and wife again in the next life. Your husband is Elder Han. Fairy Xishuan asked lightly. Although Xing Hongxian also lives in the ascetic immortal mountain. However, the two women do not have much to do with each other. There may be no hope for the next life, waiting for you to be reincarnated. He may have already become an immortal. Xing Hongxian was instantly depressed, and the corners of Fairy Xishuan's mouth rose slightly. The smile was hidden. At this time, Wan Yugang came over. Before my sister died, I have something I want to say for a long time. Fairy Xishuan replied coldly, I don't want to hear it. But thank you for my brother's care in this life. If there is a fate in the next life, I am willing to be your mother to take care of you for the rest of your life. Nearly 100,000 righteous path modifications. The mighty man was pressed out of the main hall. The scene in front of him shocked Fairy Xishuan. I saw piles of dry bones by the altar, burn endlessly, and there are not a few modifications that have been transformed into demon cultivators, neatly arranged like an army. I don't know how much this demon emperor has caught. Righteous path modification. Is there really no hope? What about the heavenly immortal mansion? What about the holy places? The female disciple of the earth spirit was full of indignation in her tone. Before they were caught, they thought victory was in sight. I didn't expect the nightmare to be just now. At the beginning, Joding real people were secretly frightened. How could there be so many demon cultivators? How those righteous pathways are modified, quickly transformed into a demon cultivator. It stands to reason. The transformation of spiritual power into demonic energy requires a cultivation process. How can it be rebuilt in a short period of time? On a hill in the distance, Suki Chaos Tengu lay behind a rock. Probe looking. A lot of magic cultivators. Are we really going to go on? Chaos Tengu asked, shuddering. Finally escaped from the palm of the demon emperor. He didn't want to be suspected anymore. Su Chi's policy said that we are waiting for the new to be on the right path. How can you be afraid? Today, if the demon emperor's plan succeeds, the world will be in chaos. Then look back at the past. Maybe it's because we don't have the strength to do it. Chaos Tengu looked bitter. This kid is too righteous and awe-inspiring. He suddenly missed a few immortals. It would be nice if that guy had killed him now. At this time, the penance became Immortal Mountain. Li Qingzi hurried over. Elder Han taught them to be arrested. What are we going to do? Distance from Taiyuan causes news to be delayed for more than 1 year. Hanju replied, wait. He wanted to say they'd be fine. But what if something happens? This kind of thing can't be packed. Li Qingzi complained. Those holy places disappeared at critical moments. He always felt that there was a big conspiracy behind it. Hanju's face did not change, so that he could not be impatient. As a matter of fact, he was using the heavenly puppet to observe the demon Dao Emperor. The situation of the city. Hanju is waiting for a demon Emperor Jinai. As long as you kill Jinaiha, the demon Dao naturally collapsed. Li Qingzi asked Hanju what he was doing when he was waiting for the opportunity. You have to go out to rescue them now. Hanju said that it was too late to go to Nature City now. But it doesn't have to be that much trouble. Now I'm going to preach in battle. At this time, Murong Chi took the lead in asking. The outer group disciples have always had a doubt. What we pursue is whether we should be immortal or strong. Hanju replied that all beings have the will of all beings. Ambition without ambition. It's an endless lifespan. And the answer I can give you is, when you are the only one in this world who lives to the end, then you are the strongest in the world. Murong rebelled, and the world fell into contemplation, because he can't understand it yet. When was the last time Hanju said? Sun Chang'an continued to ask the master. Heaven has a heavenly return. The cycle of life and death is the return of heaven. After becoming an immortal, whether he will jump into the cycle of life and death. I can't say lightly. Immortals are just more powerful than mortals. Far from true immortality. Otherwise mythical. There won't be so many immortal gods reincarnated in the mortal world, who said that becoming an immortal is the end of practice. Looking for Chang'an was even more confused. So what is the endless source of longevity you are pursuing? Hanju continued, because the end of the avenue was far away. We have to cherish the present. Take one less pillar of incense off today. Time doesn't seem like much. Thousands of years later, count how much time has been wasted. 10,000 years from now. Millions of years from now. Looking for Chang'an Epiphany. Immediately bowed down to Hanju. Hanju preached quietly, seemingly absent-minded, but it fell in the eyes of all the disciples. That's unfathomable. Be cynical. Kuan and Wu Dao Si curiously asked Hanju what realm he was now. When will it be Deshang? Hanju said calmly that being a teacher is already a great achievement. As soon as this statement came out, the crowd was shocked. Deshang entered the highest realm of the mortal world. Sun Chang'an and Yang Tiandong were not surprised. After all, they were accompanying Hanju. Ray Jie spent a month. At this time, there was a burst of thunder in the sky over the demon camp ceremony. Blood is tumbling. A figure appeared first. He is the blood demon ancestor. He directly exuded his own terror shroud. Let all the decorations on the altar be hammered. It's very uncomfortable. The blood demon ancestor raised his eyes to the sky, silently said that it was coming. I saw the whirlpool of the sky. A figure slowly emerged, coming with a terrifying micropressure. appeared on the altar as a thunderbolt. Fong, Demon Emperor Ji, didn't know that he was finally here. He's finally coming to get a box lunch. What is the Deshang realm? What is the strongest in the world? That's the heavens. A piece of paper, Judy. Don't take away your top luck. This issue has made you guys wait for a long time. On the one hand, the spring festival is approaching and everything is entangled. On the other hand, I hope you will read manga. Authors are encouraged. I can't wait. You can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Chocho reading app. Search for the top name in the comment area and follow up wonderfully. It's cool to see a breath. The book is picked up again. Jinai, he was greeted by hundreds of thousands of demon cultivators. Out of thin air. On the altar, all the righteous way decorations did not dare to say a word. I could only look nervously at the sky. Demon Emperor Ji opened his arms. The inheritors of the Tao, Demon Tao. I'm going to tell you a story about the beginning of the world. Everything is chaotic. First there is the devil, then there is the god. After that, the Terrans were born and the immortals appeared. The devil knows that it is the pursuit of not being bound by the way of heaven. Live forever. Imperishable. Do whatever you want. Ji Naiha's voice is full of vicissitudes. Lead the cultivators. Go back to that much more ancient time. Hanju also heard his words through the heavenly puppet. The news said that this demon Emperor Birch is really a set. This Siruo was born in northern Burma. Definitely a talent. That's when it happened. A voice interrupted Ji Naiha's speech. The Comer sneered. You are the head of the demon cultivator. Ji Naiha frowned and looked at the blood demon ancestor. The greedy Arhut also looked up. I saw a terrifying aura erupt from the sky. The thunder of the hosts roared. In the midst of thunder and lightning, a few immortals stepped in. I saw him smile excitedly, stared at Ji Naiha, laugh insolently. Let you pick up a life last time. I'm going to kill you this time. His appearance, invigorate all the touches on the demon altar. So many years of righteous and demonic wars. Mr. G relies on strong strength. It has become famous all over the world. Even in their eyes, it is already the first in the world. Mr. G also secretly calculated. Today, if you kill Ji Nai in front of the two swords of the righteous and demon, then he is the one who saves the world. Truly the best in the world. Suki Chaos Tengu raised her eyes to look at the scene in the sky. Chaos Tengu asks if this guy is getting stronger again. Suki looked at the back of the ancestor god. His eyes were full of shock. But there is also a hint of unease. I vaguely feel that things are not so simple. Jinai, he cursed the white-haired mushrooms. They were not doing well. Why didn't you hold off this Mr. G? The blood demon ancestor said helplessly. The elite sent before. All of them are exhausted in the killing cocoon. White-haired mushrooms they deal with. The old monsters of the heavenly immortal mansion is also lacking in skills. Jinai, he snorted coldly. Since this is the case, I don't have to hide it anymore. Although I am still a little far from my peak. But now the strength is enough to dominate the world. As he spoke, he pinched his sword and pointed at it. Cast a spell in an instant and hit several immortal gods. It was a sudden, powerful. The strength displayed by the demonic chi shocked the two deities. Unexpectedly, this season he has been hiding his strength. Ji Xianxian plays the sword. Jinai took the lead, but had no ability to dodge. Kina and cold fermentation, releasing the micropressure of nearly 8 layers of Deshang's peak. And the waiting building has temporarily entered Deshang with the help of secret methods. But in essence, it is still a catastrophe. I'm going to show you what to see today. The gap between the sword of Deshang Jin said that Ji Nahe glared at him. This trick has been firmly hit in the sacrifice. The first gods. The two demon Tao venerables saw that the sacrifice ancestor god was taken down with one move. I couldn't help but clap my hands. This abrupt reversal not only stunned the dog and up, also let just now Rejoice that they have been saved by the righteous paths. Again in despair. Meanwhile, a voice sounded in Xing Hongshuan's ears. Take out the heavenly golem. Hearing this, Xing Hongxian was stunned. When I heard it, it was Han Ju's voice. He immediately took out the heavenly golem. I saw the puppet of the sky raise his right hand. The finger pointed to Ji Nai Hian Tianxiong. It's time. Now is the time. Taking advantage of Ji Nai's defeat of the enemy, he is slackening. Han Ju had already locked Ji Nai He with the history of the gods. At this time, Yang Tiandong asked Han Ju, since he has become a master, why hasn't he soared? Han Ju locked on Ji Nai on the side. He replied to him with a sentence that made me soar. Are you in a hurry to go out again and resume at will? Others are also curious about how strong the Changjin really is. Han Ju smiled to himself, suddenly burst out with 6 spiritual powers. A wave of terror erupted. What is Deshang? Deshang is the side of the sky. Finger the enemy. I saw Han Ju raise his right hand. Raise your middle finger and point to the horizon. Deshang is invincible. Han Ju swung out the heaven and earth Xin Huang breaking sword finger. I saw the sword light flashing. The space was torn out in an instant. This scene was deeply shocked to the original Ji who was present. I only felt behind Mr. Ji. A sword aura appeared out of thin air. Freeze through the space. Kill yourself directly. Ji Nai didn't have time to think about it. Subconsciously want to dodge. It's a pity it's too late. I can't stop it at all. Ji Nai's eyes widened. The scorching light shone on his face. His mind went blank for a moment. Didn't think about anything. Until he was overwhelmed by the sword chi. Destroy all the forms and gods. Mr. Ji got up and just wanted to fight again. But I saw that the magic power of turning into chicken powder was drifting away with the wind. At this time, his brain is also fierce. Mr. Ji turned around. Look at the spatial rift behind him. Could it really be that the immortals came to the rescue? No mortal can have such power. It's horrible. But why hunt over there? The sword aura emitted was so familiar. Is it except for Guan Yu? There are really people in heaven and earth who are stronger than him. Han Ju had just killed the demon emperor. Salvation from danger. But they don't know the way of the devil. The true devil is about to come to life. Don't take away your top-notch charm again. If you are in a hurry, you can click on the link in the lower left corner. Download the Chiu reading app. Search for the pin name in the comment section. Wonderful follow-up to See Shuangao in one breath. The book is picked up again. Above the earth. All the demon cultivators and righteous path modifications haven't reacted yet. I only saw a sword chi appear out of thin air, piercing the sky, tearing through the boundless clouds, crashed directly into the magic ground. There was no deafening roar. There was no dazzling explosion that shook the heavens and the earth. When the sword chi dissipates, the demon land is no longer there. Blood demon ancestor. The greedy Arhat's eyes widened. Both were stupefied. Ji Nai's strength is not too different from them. None of them saw it clearly. How did Ji Nai he die? It shows that the strength of the person who shot is far superior to them. Where do they dare to stay? Flee immediately. Before leaving, he also made a few immortals wait. Dare to let the immortals make a move. The sword magic will never let you go. The few immortals of the heavenly immortal mansion were also very helpless. There are no true immortals in my heavenly immortal mansion. I really can't think of sacrificing to the immortals. Except for Guan Yu of the Yuqing holy sect. Who else in the world can kill Daqingjing with a sword? Unless there are really mortal immortals in this world. The god of worship looked at the ground. At this time, everyone present was still silent in shock. It took a while for someone to react. Moses is dead. The demon cultivators also blew up the light demon emperor in an instant. The two escaped. Only these Karami are left of them. Wouldn't it be served in one pot? And after the righteous monks were saved, cheers resounded through the heavens and the earth. At last the light of righteousness was sprinkled on the earth. Sichuan Fairy didn't expect it. Hanju has reached this level. Everyone also noticed the gesture of the heavenly puppet, still pointing in the direction where the demon emperor disappeared. So who else could there be but him? This single strong has been released from the righteous path modification of imprisonment. Immediately start fighting back. Camp at this time. The scene of the demon ceremony became a purgatory for the demon cultivators. Suki and the chaos Tengu froze in place. The sword aura just now slashed over their heads. It's like a miracle. Suchi was excited, and it must be the master. The chaos Tengu froze, asked in surprise that it was the demon emperor who was killed by the master. It had to be him. He has been sheltering me in secret. Otherwise, I would have died a long time ago. Chaos Tengu couldn't help but be depressed when he heard this. How the master didn't protect me. The Chaos Tengu advises to slip away. He didn't want to be a mount for a few immortals. At this time, several immortal gods were killing all directions. Was robbed of the limelight. He could only sprinkle this evil breath on the demon cultivator. Penance becomes immortal. The Korean army on the mountain withdrew. The Tucson tree is still swaying in the wind. Enlightenment saw that he looked at Hanju's back obsessively. Ordinary Anyang Tiandong and others were full of admiration. Murong clenched his fists. Excitedly asked Shizu, "What a supernatural power this is." Hanju favored him. Heaven and Earth Xianwang breaking the ring sword finger. Do you want to learn? I'll teach you. To celebrate the victory of this righteous path. Hanju took out the Book of Doom. However, his name was written off by him. Now it's all that is left with Suzaku and the Swan Taoist. This time one person cursed for half a month. Make them twice as happy. Soon, the news that the demon emperor was killed in second spread all over the world. Not only is there a legend of immortals saving the common people, even one of the ceilings of the righteous path is as big as a 5-star. Tongling Old Vein. He also gave a very high evaluation to the immortals. Various versions of the story became a tavern hit. Who are the immortals? Which sect is it from? Become the biggest topic of conversation in the world. The demon lord's ears heard the calluses. Still don't have a clue. That's when it happened. He received a message from the blood demon ancestor. Here comes the one. Hurry back. After a while, the demon lord came to a dimly lit space. After the Qin army passed through a fog, see the blood demon ancestor. And the greedy Arhut half knelt in front of a dark shadow. The first Qin Jun respectfully shouted to his honor. I saw the dark shadow, showing a terrifying figure. Asked coldly, Ji Nai is dead. You do not know who slain you. Xian Qin Jun took a deep breath, bowed down and prostrate according to what the blood demons and the greedy demons see. The other party did not show up. I suspect it's the pre-gods. It is not the first time that the first god has descended to earth privately. Silence ensued. The cold voice did not sound again. Blood demon ancestor. And the breathing of the greedy Arhut stopped. After a while, Xian Qin Jun continued to ask, is the plan of the demon race still being implemented? The sacrifice had already been initiated. The luck of the demon race is close to the mortal realm. This matter is estimated to have alarmed the fairy world. If it continues, I'm afraid I haven't finished taking him to the end yet. The black shadow snorted coldly and continued. Let the demon lord do the rest. There are already true demons in the mortal world. This seat has asked the demon lord to find the true demon. As for your ascension, as soon as possible. With that, the dark shadow dissipated in front of the three of them. Xian Qinjun replied and obeyed. But he lowered his head, his eyes flickered, and he was unwilling. All he could think about at the moment was that person. Man, we're going to be separated by immortals after all. Hanju didn't want to go to the northeast to be a small potato. I planned to take a day trip to the underworld. How do you know that she was pinched to death by Mrs. Mengpa? I had no choice but to use the Deshang realm to self-inflict and get out of danger. Don't take away your top luck. Can't wait for the audience. You can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Chiyo reading app. Search for the top name in the comment area and follow up wonderfully. It's cool to see at a breath. The book was picked up in a blink of an eye. The demon Emperor Ji was destroyed. It's been 10 years. Hanju reached the second floor of Deshang Avenue. He will return to the palace of the six realms. Refine the ninth layer of the great perfection. This time, he didn't comprehend the new supernatural powers. However, the speed of cultivation has been significantly improved. From now on, he can still absorb the essence of the sun and the moon. Xia can absorb 9 ghost chi in the underworld. Previously, Hanju was comprehending the 8th layer of the 6 realms of Reincarnation Palace. Learn the gate of supernatural reincarnation. With the help of this door, you can step into the underworld. It can also absorb the soul and throw it into the 6 realms of reincarnation. Previously, because of insufficient cultivation, I didn't dare to step into it rashly. Now the 6 realms of Reincarnation Palace has been completed. He decided to go to Hades to see. As Hanju's eyes closed and opened, this life is over. If you don't let the world go, you will go to hell. At first, he only felt overwhelmed by the billowing black mist. Can't see anything clearly. Gradually, Hanju found himself in a sea of strange flowers. And this sea of flowers is the legendary flower of the other side. On the shore of the sea of flowers are countless pontoon bridges. The black water flowing under his feet made him even more nervous. He scattered the stone. Nothing was found around, but there is water underfoot. This water is very weird. The stone dissipates directly upon touch. Water that can melt the divine stone. It is none other than the legendary water of the yellow spring. The divine stone can't feel the spatial range. And the pontoons are intricate. Emerald. For a while, Hanju lost his direction. At this moment, several souls flew in front of Hanju. A shot from a pontoon bridge also appeared. Hanju planned to follow these spirits over and take a look. Walk for a while. Hanju saw a bridge in the middle of the fog. The other side of the bridge cannot be seen above the water. There is a stall on the bridge deck. Someone is putting the soup in their hands. Bowls and bowls were handed to the souls. Spirits appeared in front of him in an orderly line. Take the bowl from his hand. After drinking it all, it stepped onto the bridge. Disappear into the mist on the bridge. This shocked Hanju's heart. Immediately looked up at the plaque at the head of the bridge. Meng Patang Laozi doesn't want to be reincarnated now. Let's go. Which Hanju just turned around. Was frozen by a terrible coercion. Before the cycle of life and death. You want to go back. A vicissitudes of sound sounded behind Hanju. This Meng Pa may be a powerful underworld. Strength must not be underestimated. Hanju turned around and looked behind him with slight pressure. I saw a terrifying figure 8 feet tall. It's coming at him. Hanju immediately used Deshang to advance and self-violence. Lest the power of the underworld follows the gate of reincarnation to the world. The shock wave of the explosion illuminated the entire Naiho Bridge. Blew away the flowers of the other side. Blown over the uncertain pontoon bridge. I don't know that Meng Po pointed a little. The shock wave came to an abrupt end. Meng Po exploded again. The shock wave dissipated abruptly. Meng Po left. No wonder it was so decisive to self-destruct. It turned out that it was a big ring puppet technique. It's a pity. This miracle that has been lost for millions of years. In those days, it was a puppet. The only one who can compete with Deluo. Interesting. What's the matter with this kid? With a bang. In the Xiantian cave mansion, Hanju opened his eyes. Closed the door to reincarnation immediately. A cold sweat broke down his spine. The slight pressure just now was too strong. You must know that the puppet of the sky is a great cultivator. It was crushed to death by slight pressure. You can't easily step into this underworld. After the cold, I was afraid to think of him holding his hands on the ground. It was found that it had frozen over. The furnishings of the house were also covered in a thick layer of frost. Just follow. A masterless force from the divine stone can move all things. If the other party follows the puppet of the sky, lock onto his deity, wouldn't they be able to kill him across the border? It's not impossible. It seems that Deshang Jin is nothing. In this life, it's better not to toss honestly. Hanju felt that although the cave was frozen, but an unusually hot air is rising. Enlightenment Sword ran in a panic. Master. Big things are not good. Those two suns are going down. Hanyu Fromnid. Could it be that the hearts of those two golden houses are going to go down to earth? Black JG was extremely nervous, because this loading is the gold house he broke into. Break through the celestial barriers. Enter the mortal world. Hanju took the shot. Get 2 more divine pets. Don't take away your top luck. Can't wait for the audience. You can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Chio reading app. Search for the pin name in the comment section. Wonderful follow-up to See Cool in one breath. The book is picked up again. Those two suns in the sky are really going down. At this time, some parts of the world have been scorched. The embellishment of all schools of cinema. They have joined the firefighting team. Even the spiritual grass that has been cultivated into the immortal mountain. It can't withstand high temperatures. They began to wither. Looking for Chang'an, Yang Tiandong, and the others planned to take Fei Kuan to sacrifice to the sky. After all, he was the one who caused this great disaster. Hanju also knows very well, if you let these 2 golden houses enter the mortal world, the world will soon turn into purgatory. It's really a wave of unevenness. Why is it so difficult to cultivate an immortal well? There is a barrier between heaven and earth. Presumably, they can't enter the human world. I don't know that with the continuous impact of the golden house, there was a crack in heaven and earth. I don't know if it was caused by the impact of the gold house, or there was a crack in the original coin. After a while, there was a loud bang in the sky. Those 2 gold houses really broke through the heavenly coins, entered the mortal world. The fat under Kuan trembled. The golden house feeds on phoenixes. The suppression of the bloodline. Let Kunkin's psychological defense completely collapse. The mortal world is already in chaos. Many people plan to dehydrate immediately in order to protect themselves. At this moment, Hanju hesitated. Do you want to throw a piece of paper towards the 2 golden houses? Kill them. That's when it happened. A line of words appeared in front of Hanju's eyes. A congenital transporter was detected. Whether to check its origin. Innate transporter. Hanju immediately chose to view. The nerve house is nearly 7 floors. Juvenile state. For qualification reasons. A small golden house abandoned by the golden house Protoss. Feel the scent of the hibiscus tree. In order to become stronger, he deliberately rushed to the mortal world. Due to the demon clan interfering with the aura of the heavenly Tao. 2 little houses of gold find an opportunity. I want to forcibly break into the mortal world. Abandoned by the golden house Protoss. Hanju captured important information. Since it is abandoned, kill them. You won't offend the golden house Protoss. Not necessarily. Protoss like this must be very face-saving. If you know that your people are being killed by mortals, how can you not be angry? Kill and can't kill. It's impossible to force back. Hanju could only rush towards the 2 suns. Since I'm here, I can only try that trick. After that, Hanju used the 9 Dragons Demon Seal. 1 palm froze through 2 suns. The 2 little houses of gold let out a miserable wail. Kuan on the ground, ready to die. Only to find that the temperature dropped suddenly. Look up and see the sun in the sky. The real fire suddenly dissipated. Heaven and earth were quickly restored to their original state, as if it hadn't been broken. Heavenly Tao reacted very quickly. The mortal world has escaped this catastrophe. Hanju was about to leave. A figure galloped in. What about the two sons? Mr. G asked curiously. He wasn't surprised to see Hanju. Hanju replied calmly, and I persuaded him to leave. Mr. G looked at Hanju carefully, asked with burning eyes, "You were the one who shot just now." Hanju nodded, since that was the case. "Are you the one who killed the demon emperor? I felt the sword chi just now," although the ancestors were displeased in their hearts, because he can't stand that others are better than him. But if it's Hanju, that's it. He didn't want anyone else to be better than him besides Hanju. Hanju immediately dodged and covered his small mouth. This matter must not be disseminated. Once spoken, it is impossible for my life to return to peace. The number one in the world is still up to you. The immortals were very puzzled. This is a great opportunity to make a name for yourself. Why don't you practice for the sake of fame? Hanju replied to him lightly, "I am immortal." Hear Hanju's answer. Several immortal gods were silent and watched Hanju turn around and leave. Nor did he stand in the way. It's a complicated look at his back. That's a tall pattern. It's 3 or 4 stories high. Suddenly, Hanju received a system prompt. Mr. G's favorability towards you has increased. The current opinion rating is 3 stars. Hanju shook his head when he saw the prompt in front of him. Wait for him to return to the Fuso tree. Murong-chi took the lead in asking how the situation of the lost owner was. The golden house has been removed by you. There is only one sun left in the sky to speak for itself. The others looked at Hanju admiringly. Hanju Chinsheng said that the Jinwu clan was an ancient god clan. How can you say that you will kill? Murong asked suspiciously, where did they go? Hanyu Smilit shook the show. 2 golden rays of light fell from his show. Suppression from the bloodline. Once again, Kunkin felt the horror to the bone. It's the golden house. It's the golden house of the 2 red phoenixes. Kunkin was really scared this time. Shrink behind the Fusang tree and never dare to raise your head again. Hanju said coldly, "You'd better get used to it quickly. This Fuso tree in the future. It is up to you and the 2 golden crows to testify." The crowd hurried, curiously watched the 2 golden crows. Zazes is worthy of being a divine beast. To look like that is to be different. 2-legged phoenixes are everywhere. It's hard to find a 3-legged chick. There are such beauties who invite you to be a fairy together. Would you like to? The nerve house settled down and cultivated to become immortals. Shanxian Qin Jun showed his true face and invited Hanju to ascend. Don't take away your top luck. The comics are updated weekly. Friends who can't wait can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Chiochio reading app. Search for the pin name in the comment section. Wonderful follow-up to see Shuangao in one breath. The book is picked up again. Hanju in front of everyone. Released the 2 small golden houses in the show. As the true fire of the sun dissipated, the 2 little ones hugged each other and shook their heads. Shaking looks pitiful. The apprentices were puzzled by Hanju. Why leave these 2 scourges? Directly get rid of the star to avoid future troubles. Hanju told them. The reason why the Fuso tree will attract divine beasts. It's because Kunkin can't be suppressed at all. Now there are 2 gold houses in the town. This Fusang tree can be completely stable. In the future, any of you will want to use them as a mount. It's definitely the most beautiful boy on the whole street. Let's talk about it. Hanju put on a stinky face and began to scare the little golden house. Give you a chance. If you confess me as Lord, I can not only keep you alive, it can get stronger. The 2 small gold roofs face each other. It seems that there is still some unconvinced questioning. Is it up to you to keep us? Hanju immediately released the 2 of you, causing the lives of the world to be miserable. Where do you want to go now? What's more, you have disturbed my immortal cultivation. I have been practicing in the heat for so many years. Murong-chi also cooperated on the side. The spiritual grass that has been cultivated into the immortal mountain has been sunburned to death by you a lot. If you seek death, it is also very good to make a small pheasant stew with spiritual grass, or simply make it a 79 yuan all-gold house package. Presumably, it will also become a hot-selling product of Yuqing Holy Sect. The two little ones are not very old after all. How dare you not be convinced by being so frightened by everyone? Immediately bow down to show your return. Sun Chang'an expressed concern. If other sects make a golden house with us, will you find the Yuqing Holy Sect and let us compensate? Hanju instructed everyone to enter the house without making a noise. At the same time, 6 marks were inserted into the little golden house. Your sins are heinous. He has become mortal enemies with mortal beings. I don't have my permission to do so. Do not leave the penance to become a fairy mountain for half a step. Make a mark on the two of you, and you're your own people. In the future, you must know how to respect teachers in the mountains. Do not kill each other. Hear Hanju's warning. Kuan felt that his waist was stiff again. It is also said that it is a golden house divine beast. It seems that it is nothing more than that. Han Yusad coldly to Kun. The cultivation is indeed average. It's just a big success. Kun Yi, you clean up the two of them. They should be pinched in hand. Hanju ordered. The 2 golden crows guarded the Fusang tree with Kunkin. If there's anything you don't understand, just ask this fat chicken. Don't look at him ugly. He's a phoenix. It's your golden house. The juicy phoenix that I love to eat. Kunkin was scared to pee again. In the future, you will eat and live with natural enemies. Master, do you really don't love Kun? Looking for Chang'an. We began to introduce the type of hibiscus tree to Kaganaya. The one with the basketball on the first floor is Fei Kun's pig nest. The two of you live in his new room upstairs. Get along well in the future. Neighborhoods are important. Yang Tiandong said to Kunkin. The Golden House is the supreme bloodline of our demon clan. Now you are close to the water, and the building is the first to get the moon. But you have to have a good relationship with that little mother's house. If you can join the Golden House family in the future, you're really going to fly up the branches and become a phoenix. Was counted down by this pain. Kun was very unconvinced. Didn't the 2 ministers go into the little gold house? 7th Master, I will trample them under my feet sooner or later. The voice of this sentence was a little louder. The little gold house instantly cast a friendly gaze. Feel the pressure of the bloodline. Kun let the 2 uncles not have to do it themselves. Instinctively began to build a grave for himself. Soon, there was a new tomb on the immortal mountain. 1 year later, someone came to visit the immortal mountain. The person who came was the Xianqin army, who was about to fly away. The well-informed Xianqin army recognized the little gold house at a glance. He lamented that there was a nerve house living on the sacred tree of Fuso. Little boyfriend, this place is really not ordinary. I heard someone praise the little gold house. Kun burst out of the grave angrily. Who's going to open your mouth and shut up the golden house? Wait for the awakening of the chicken master's bloodline and let you eat it. Surprised? Suen Kin Yun smiled slightly. I didn't expect you to have a lot of backbone, little phoenix. Kun recognized Xian Jun at a glance. Who was the main mother of this mountain? Of course he knew. Xian Jun took out a waist pole and Ben Jun was about to soar. I'll give it to you, this Deshang worship demon insider. You have to come on, little phoenix. Kun instantly understood Han Yu's feelings. What man can refuse a rich woman? Such a generous shot. As soon as you give it, it is Deshang respect demon pill. It can also be salted or sweetened. What man could not like? At this time, Hanju also walked out of something. The wind is blowing you. Fakewen, don't you hurry up and thank you. Hanju smiled and won. It was followed by a fierce enlightenment sword. Kun just wanted to say thank you, Lord Xianqinjun. But his clever brain turned. I said sweetly that I had thanked my grandmother. Hearing this, Xianqinjun was immediately happy. Which enlightened tiger chirped. Why is there a housewife again? Xian Qingyuan's face was gloomy in an instant. And tell me about it. What a hell of a thing. Hanju was inexplicably surprised that he was still a child. Don't listen to his nonsense. He looked at Hanju with a smile. Zay said in surprise. Now even the golden house can be subdued. You grown up? Hanju nodded, feeling that this woman had something to say. No wonder they can hide their coquettishness. There are all kinds of fetish. The speed of cultivating immortals is fast. Hanju listened. Suddenly I felt like I had revealed something. Could it be that this woman has taken a fancy to my fuso tree? Or is it that my aura here is too serious? If it continues to develop here, it will definitely be targeted by the might. Become a battleground for soldiers. That's when it happened. The system seemed to understand Hanju's mind. A pop-up prompt will pop up to select a location. The system helps create enchantments. Modifications outside the enchantment. Unable to detect changes within the barrier. Undisputed. My system has always had this function. Immediately open the enchantment in the system. Because his cultivation has improved too quickly. Enchantments directly complete 2 evolutions. Now, the enchantment is just enough to cover the entire mountain of ascetic cultivation. Xian Qingjun nodded. You don't count yet. This enchantment works really well. You have to be careful not to expose yourself easily in the future. Some of the great powers are already paying attention here. As for who it is, it's hard to say right now. Xian Qingjun walked towards the Hanju cave mansion. Let Hanju come in with him and have something to say. Hanju's housewife Kuan and the Enlightenment sword guarded the entrance of the cave. Don't let anyone in and disturb you. Enlightenment saw that he didn't know why. Kuan told him with a wicked smile. Be nosy. The master and the mistress entered the cave. What else could there be? Listen to it if you want. If you don't want to listen, stay away. After entering the hole, Xian Qingjun looked at the genius treasure of Hanju's cave mansion. Quite emotional. I used to think that sacrificing to the gods was the first day of pride in the world. I didn't expect you to be. I did look away. But it also shows that I have a strong spirit. I can meet you when you are not yet strong. Now it's like this. My little way. Would you want to shake me off? Hanju smiled so much that naturally he wouldn't. After all, you've helped me a lot. If you need me in the future, I'm here to help. Although the 2 of them are Taoist brigades. But it seems polite. Xian Qingjun turned his back. Raise your right hand and stop going around the bend with you. I have a chance here. Do you want to prove it? I'm done. This mortal fate is useless to me. Did you say what you said? As he spoke, Xian Qingjun came with a gorgeous set of transformations. That's right. It's just that you thought that I could take you to the ascension. With the frequent appearance of Xian Qingjun, it disappeared. In its place is a bewitching and beautiful face. The eyebrows and eyes are hooked. Delicate facial features. Hanju was a little distracted. Sure enough, it is impossible for the dignified demon lord to look so ordinary. What do you think? Will you soar with me? The First Qin army bid farewell to Hanju and left the world. The Yuqing Holy Sect's Demon Suppression Brigade returned from overseas. Don't take away your top luck. Can't wait for the audience. You can click on the link in the bottom left corner. Download the Qiuqiu reading app. Search for the pin name in the comment section. Wonderful follow-up to see Shuangao in one breath. The book is picked up again. Xian Qingjun, after a gorgeous transformation. Show your true face. Hanju sighed secretly. This is the appearance of the country and the city. Is worthy of the name of the demon lord. I'm about to soar. Will you ascend with me? Xian Qingjun stared at Hanju and asked. Hanju shook his head and said, I don't want to soar for the time being. The demon lord is puzzled why you don't want to ascend. You have to know that you and I go together. The survival rate will be greatly improved. Hanju said helplessly, there is someone above me. Not a benefactor, but an enemy. If I ascend with you, I'm afraid it will hurt you. I'd better stay in the mortal world and cultivate honestly. The First Qin army thought. Hanju was afraid of the previous master of the Qing Man great sage. Hanju told him, and Suzaku, that divine beast, is also waiting to beat him. Up and down, up and down. If the cultivation is too high, sooner or later it will be squeezed out by the mortal world. Now I can only take one step at a time. Xin Qingjun couldn't help but frown when he heard this. He glanced at Hanju deeply. He suddenly felt that the man in front of him was full of fog. It seems to be the most mysterious mystery in the world. Case, I'll help you again before you ascend. You are willing to practice with me for half a year. Xin Qingjun came to Hanju's side, asked with a smile. Hanju subconsciously wanted to refuse. But on second thought, people paid for it. So many resources were sent before. Besides, this face is not bad. Hanju answered. Just tap it. I heard that the master and the master mother were going to communicate for half a year. Kuan immediately pushed away the Enlightenment sword master. The mother is going to eat the master. Don't peek around, kids. Hurry up. Then Kuan made up the follow-up plot for Hanju Brain. In his eyes, the master and grandmother had an in-depth exchange. The crystallization of love should have been produced. Pregnant in June, gave birth to a daughter who was very watery. Kuan named the young master Han Ling. The young master has urinated since childhood and is pampered in all ways. When he grew up, he was even more penanced. Chungxian Mountain's various peerless learnings. Descend the mountain alone to pacify the demons in the world.